students have done if you need just kind of references. The high poly, render doesn't need to be too crazy. It just needs to be like a screenshot at the minimum. Just because I believe that's important to show that you understand how to translate your high poly details to your low poly details. And then if you need more, if for whatever reason right now, you still need more specific guidelines. This is a general guidelines page on like texture budget and polygon count, etc. So again, you guys will submit everything by hopefully Monday. I have to be 100% honest. I actually don't know if I'm going to grade everything on Monday, but I still would like to have everything due by Monday just so I can not think about it. But like, I'm tired and I might take like a few days off before I start grading again. So it might not be till like Tuesday or maybe even like Wednesday before I grade a lot of stuff. Just because I know that there's a lot of people in some in this class, and so there's some people in this class and my other classes too that have like accommodations and they might need a couple extra days. So I might like wait like a day or two to grade, but ideally everything should be done until the 21st. And just because it's done for my class doesn't mean it's like done forever. You can totally continue to work on it after class. You can totally continue to push it further for your portfolio or anything. I really recommend that you probably don't submit what you turned into me after 18 hours of no sleep to your portfolio, because you probably want to sleep on it and come back to it with new eyes and see what you can make better. So just wanted to bring all that up. So anyway, actually, sorry, go ahead.
So if we were to say submit it on Monday and then maybe update it Tuesday, would that work?
That would work. Yeah, probably.
Just check.
I mean, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. One of the things on the survey pages that you guys do is like, one of the things is like, this class helped me manage my expectations about time management and turning stuff in on time. And one of my other classes was like, Patrick, you're like a big softy about turning things in on time. So I just want to say I do recognize that I do give you guys a lot of leeway. So it would be nice if you could practice turning everything in on time, but I understand that there's just so much else going on right now that if you like, if you submit it Monday and then you like don't, and then you re-update it again Tuesday morning, am I going to notice? I mean, I might notice, but am I going to be mad? Maybe like a little bit, but like probably not that mad. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really like a hard ass about super due dates, but like you guys will learn either way when you get out there in the world that your income will be tied to turning in things on time. So you'll learn eventually. I don't have any way to monetarily compensate you for turning things in on time, so you can't experience that yet, but you'll learn soon. Anybody so sorry, one last thing anyway, here at the bottom is if you cannot submit to this page for whatever reason, please email your final files to that email address, aau@gmail.com, or you can email me over the LMS. Don't email my faculty email because I'll probably check it just to be like, did anybody email me and I missed it? But like, I will not be actively checking that for my thing. So please email me over the LMS or email me through here. I don't even know where you can get access to my faculty email, but I don't ever really use that if you haven't noticed. Does anybody else have any? Okay, before I say that, I want to say I think this page will be open on Monday for you to submit. It says close date December 22nd. I'll update that maybe to like the 23rd if you guys need, and a couple extra days. Global topics. But like really, yeah, Tuesday is probably where I'm going to be done, because on Sunday this weekend, I'm going to be talking about a new freelance contract that I have. So I will be potentially working a little bit before Christmas or after Christmas. And I just kind of want to be, cancel. I do want to be like, I just want to wrap this up and wipe my hands clean of it. But does anybody have any more questions about what is due? Wait, did that update?
So for folder with texture sheets, display like just send like a folder, like
yeah. Just give me a folder of your textures with that.
And then for the images, like just one to have like a whole image of all the textures. Yeah.
Yeah. If you go to the current topics here and you go to student examples, you can see. Oh, there isn't one there.
I was like,
okay, hang on. Let's go over here. It should be, yeah. So you can try to make it fancy if you want. Also, they dumped all that cyberpunk art a little prematurely. I just want to say.
Playing the game, it was like, crashing.
Yeah. Here's an example of what I would like to see for your texture sheet. It's pretty simple. Just show me like all the different texture sheet layouts. I can let me download that right now and upload that.
Yeah, I was like, are they the same or folder or trying to
here, let me update this page so you can see the final submissions page with examples. That's my bad for not doing that. You can try to make it fancier too if you want with like photoshopping. I did that for this character. I actually hated, I mean, this part was like kind of annoying and just took a lot of time. But if you want to try to do something fancy like this, feel free. I'm not going to do a Photoshop tutorial on how to do it. But
a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, it just takes time. Like, you know, like why do it when you can just do something simple like I did them the other time is where I was sitting at. So yeah, if you can submit some type of snapshot today, that'd be great. But if you can't, I understand because there's only like 3 or 4 days left. I will probably not grade tomorrow. If I'm being like 100% honest, I'm probably not going to do like any work this weekend. So please probably don't contact me until Monday if you have questions. I mean, I might check like emails a little bit, but like use today to ask me these last minute questions if you have any last minute questions. So I'm just going to upload these right now.
This whole time.
Textures. So yeah, anybody else have any questions or anything like that? You okay, Tahoe?
I'm just reading all the stuff to make sure.
Okay.
Sorry about all this text last night.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, because I was having trouble with the lock. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That was a lot harder.
So yeah, that should be updated now. Anybody else have any questions or anything? Yes.
Yes. I suspect the answer is somewhere in the videos. I need to go find it. But whenever I'm trying to do a thing where you showed how to do the kind of fraying at the edge of material, and every time I turn on opacity, it makes the whole thing look like glass, as opposed to painting opacity specifically.
Can you upload your Substance Painter file, if at all, or?
I can try. You're gonna have to give me a little while. My internet is not the best.
Okay, if it's really bad, I can try to check it out on mine. I have an idea of what it could be, but yeah, we can take a look at that. Does anybody else have any questions about the final before we move on to other stuff?
Doesn't sound like it.
No. Okay. You guys know what POG means, right? POG.
You say it a lot.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay, I just wanted to double
more
check
than
to make sure.
anyone I know.
I think it was like squanch.
Okay, squanch. Okay, it's not really like squanch. Okay. All right. Because I was saying that I've been saying it in all my classes for some reason this semester. That's how I've been relating to the Zoomers. And one of my other classes, which was like older grad students, they were like, "We don't know what that word means, Pat." And I was like, "I've been saying it this entire semester, and you guys have no idea what it means." Like, anyway, I just thought
I
that
understand their pain.
Yeah.
So the question is then, what does it mean?
It's like Pogchamp. You guys know what Pogchamp is?
Like-
Pogchamp is a person. Are you constantly just referring to his name?
It's a Twitch emote.
Yeah, Pog is just it's just it's this. It's just the simplification of Pog.
Yeah.
Pogchamp. You just say Pog when you're like excited now.
So it's just exclamation of it's just an exclamation. Really.
Yeah, but people more use it for like this. People do the Pepe Pog now. They say Poggers. Yeah.
Jesus.
Anyway, okay. That's just a little aside. Okay, let me open up Substance Painter and check to see if we can check that thing there.
I think you might be more zoomer than I am.
There's a lot of zoomer in that blood.
Yeah,
I feel real old here, Pat.
I definitely feel like I have a degree in like memology, but I'm not like on top of it. Honestly, I try to be pretty on top of it, but it's hard. Okay, we can't open these. These are NDA. I was also rushing to get a bunch of freelance done this morning, like literally right before class. So don't worry, I'm right there with you guys. But I did finish this morning, so I'm hyped, and I'm hoping that they will pay me on time because that would be sick. They could just pay me before the end of the year, and then I don't have to think about it at all.
That's a dream. Hey, it's Mr. Boots.
Yes. Okay, so let's load up here. So we're gonna do like on the. So you're trying to like straight up paint the opacity away on the cape here or something, like.
Yeah, like you showed. I'll say last week.
Okay.
Like.
And you're in the latest version of Substance Painter.
Yes.
Okay, I believe I am also in the latest version of Substance Painter.
Look at us in the trenches together.
Okay. Hold on, I gotta plug in my tablet. Sorry.
Did the color of his cloak change from last time?
No, it's just always been that dark.
Huh. I didn't notice a gradient last
That's
time.
what I meant by those. What I mean by gradients, gamers. You guys gotta like push your colors. Like check. Let's check. Look at my base color map.
Shiny.
You know. Look at that dark, light. The metals or whatever. Honestly, the boots I'm the most proud of. My friend was complimenting me on the other day, so I'm the most proud of those. But yeah. Okay. Anyway. Also, okay. Anyway, we'll deal with that later. Okay. So let's go to 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So Artie had a question about fixing up starting the ambient inclusion map. Wait, what's going on here? Okay. I was like, what are those? Did I make those? Okay. Anyway. So what you want to do is make sure you change it from PBR metal rough to PBR metal with alpha blending, metal rough with alpha blending. Did you change this after you?
Yeah, I basically started texturing from scratch.
Oh, okay. So yeah, this should work. And then what you want to do is make a new fill layer. And then, sorry, not a new fill layer. Let's delete that first. You want to go to the channels box here, right? And then plug in opacity.
Yeah.
So now you have the opacity channel here. And then now if we make a new fill layer, you want to turn off everything except basically opacity at this point. So make sure all these channels are turned off. So now you only have opacity. And then you add a black mask. And then you can turn the opacity like all the way down. And then on the mask, you can paint away the mesh.
Okay, this is supposed to be above the layer, right?
I would put it at the top of everything, yeah.
Okay.
And then the main thing is you want to make sure that those channels are turned off because those can cause you issues later if you're not like paying attention really. And I will say that as somebody who has done that recently and was dying from like trying to figure out what the hell was going on. Basically, I was doing a bunch of hue saturation adjustments and I didn't realize that my hue saturation layer had the normal map channel turned on. So it was literally affecting my normal map channel, which was causing seams to turn on. So that's why I'm like, you got to turn off things that you don't want it to affect.
Downright exciting.
Yeah, I know. It was very. That was a fun 2 hours. So is this like what you tried to do, or what ended up happening?
So, so that's basically what I tried to do. So before, what would happen is I would turn on opacity, and basically the whole thing I was trying to paint started looking kind of like, it got that weird, computer opacity going on.
Do you have it open right now? Can you share your screen and we can take a look at it, or?
Yeah, sure. Christ almighty, how do I do this? Okay. It says I can't share while
Sorry, you can share
yes.
now.
Okay.
This is being recorded, by the way, so just don't share
That's
anything that you can't share.
Okay. I'll keep my work closed. Oh Christ, I have so many. Okay, I need to make sure that I'm not sharing like just what I'm seeing here. Okay, here we go. That should be it.
Okay.
All right.
All right, there we go.
So right now, no bueno. So with a fill layer above it, black mask. I can tell that it's painting something. It's apparently not doing anything.
We can't see this. Hold on. Shit. Oh wait, it's being recorded on the main thing. Okay. Okay, so where's your layer settings? Where's your properties paint tab? Pull that out so we can take a look at that. Pull that out into its own window, basically, so we can kind of see that. Yeah.
Let's make it
okay.
big.
So you can snap it to the right window there if you like, kind of like. Oh. Yeah, like that, but to the right. Okay, that no, that doesn't work. Okay, come on. Okay, to go to the right a little bit.
I think it's going all over the place. Here?
Nope.
Yep. But when am I trying to snap it to?
All right, just leave it. Just leave it. It's fine.
Because I know it's running on my second screen.
Okay. So click on your So what about the upper layers? So you're trying to paint away the opacity right now?
Yes.
You're on the paint layer?
I am, yes.
Now click on your fill layer for me. Okay. Now click on the upper layers above it.
So these are all other things right now.
Okay, those are just smart materials. Okay.
So I'm trying to do the wool one.
Okay, click on these. Turn off and on the opacity map just really fast. On all these.
Oh, sorry. I can show you what it does on this one. It does that.
Oh.
Which is exciting.
Okay, click on the battered still one. What about the other two, like the skin?
So they're a little bit further down. So we are, say, for instance, here. So if I go to the steel, it does the same thing. Glass, sort of.
Oh.
Crappy glass, if you will.
Go to your shader. What's the shader that you have selected?
That should be one that, yeah.
Alpha blending.
Yeah.
I mean, you might have to send me this file for me to troubleshoot it. I can't.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know what could be causing it.
Slowly upload it during class.
Okay. Unless you just, what happens if you put the opacity layer above everything else?
Just take a look.
Does that fix it?
We will find out soon. Doesn't appear to be doing anything.
What's the opacity value set to in your? So right now it's see-through, right? So you want to turn that down. There you go. Oh wait.
Let's take a look.
Wait,
perhaps. What? Well, it's doing something. Oh, it's painting the shirt. As opposed to
that other. What's that? Is that green material on something else, or?
That's the wool.
Huh.
Right. So. Let's just try clearing this mask real quick. Clear mask. So we aren't buggering about with this. Alright. So it's affecting the shirt as opposed to...
Is that green wool double-sided?
It is, yes.
So you might only be painting on one side.
Oh, Christ.
So if you go to the 2D view and you might be able to update it, you might be able to paint on the other side.
Let's take a look. See. Oh god, I need more screen real estate here. I'm gonna move this over real quick. Okay. There it. Oh god, it's updating so slowly. What is happening? What crimes am I paying for today? Should I kick puppies at some point? Oh Jesus! No, actually, let's just go along the whole where we know what it is.
Also, what's like the value that you're painting this at?
Oh,
Oh, there you go. See?
that is super weird. Okay, so it looks like it's a double-sided thing, so I might have to turn on back face culling.
Potentially. Yeah.
Okay. Or I presume I can delete the inside face, but no, you need to see it in some places.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Also, goodbye spinal cord. All right, cool. Thanks.
Okay.
I'll noodle around with some more and figure something out. I think I've got a rough idea of what's going horribly wrong. Thanks, Ben.
Okay. Cool.
Right.
How do I open chat? There we go. Okay, so you want to hit stop streaming?
Yeah, if I can find it.
Yeah, thank you. Cool. That was not picked up on the local recording. I apologize because of how the screen regions were set up. So my bad. But yeah. Cool. Does anybody else have any questions about Substance Painter while we're in here? Just out of the blue or anything like that? About how to achieve a particular effect or how to do something?
I mean, if you want to show us how you need to go around doing bone and stuff.
Bone? Okay.
I've been noodling of it and I've been getting some pretty terrible results.
Okay.
If nobody else has anything.
I mean, what else we're gonna? I don't know what else we're gonna be. Nobody else is responding, so I mean,
something with like that, like translucent, not translucent, but like with diamonds. I'm trying to do something like a crystal or something inside substance, kind
a
of.
crystal inside a substance. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm trying to do a sword a little
By the
bit.
way, I was also curious about the glowing stuff. Maybe
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
can make that because my character hair is elemental, so yeah, pretty much.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Let's get into it. Okay. So this is the boot. Let's turn some of this on. We'll just make these boots bone.
Ooh.
Okay. So 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. So how do I make bone? I mean, so you could try to obviously grab the. Ooh, were these all not on a while ago? Oh no, they are on. Okay. Anyway, sorry, one sec. I'm getting a little freaked out right now. Okay, wait, no, that is yeah, you're right. Okay, cool. 5/1/2020. What? Okay. You were thinking of asking if it's possible to paint the normal map directly to do things like fix baking errors. Really, ideally, you should not be painting the normal map. Your bake should be good. And you should edit it with the cage and some other stuff. But like, you can open it in Photoshop and paint over it. I can demonstrate that, but that's like kind of considered a no-no.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do the bone thing first. So bone. So let's just do what I normally do. Let's like grab like a nice spots or something. Black and white spots. There we go. Okay. Turn this guy on, turn all these off. And then add like a filter or something, or add a filter to it, and then add a gradient. And so this is just to get like a nice base level of kind of noise. I don't know, what does bone look like? It's kind of like this or something.
Doesn't look bad.
Okay, so I don't know, something like this to start with. Don't want it to be like too fleshy or something. So then we're going to add a black mask to this, or let's group this together just so we have everything in a simple folder here. So that was just our color information. I'm going to make a couple another layers here just to kind of go over some height map information. So like if we click on this and we go to height, we want to grab something that's going to make it feel kind of gross. So yeah, maybe Gaussian spots or something might be good to start with. If you just type in bone, we can check to see what's going to happen in here. Like there is no bone texture in here. Let's go to like Gaussian spots or something. And then you want to go to levels adjustment and crank this bad boy up on the scale. And then make sure you turn off the color map here and make sure we only have height information turned on. And then you want to, in the levels tab, you want to make sure you change this to height and then kind of bring this down a little bit. Something like that. Now let's go into let's make a new layer. And this is where our roughness is going to be. So let's make the roughness map like, let's start with like clouds or something. I don't know. Let's just type in grunge and see if we can find something cool. Grunge, dirt splats. I mean, these are bones, so like they're going to be kind of gross. I like this one. So now I go into my roughness channel and I'm like, all right, do I like what's going on in here? Let's try and figure this out. So I might scale this up a little bit. You probably guys have played video games where you see maybe repeating detail like this in the roughness map, because that's just what they do. They just scale it up because in some shots it looks like not great, but like in a lot of other shots it'll look fine because of how the lighting will be. So set up something like this and then add a levels adjustment to this. And then let's hit M to go back to our material here, and then go to, sorry, I just said I know we would go to M, but now I need to play with the roughness here. So I want to like kind of like, bones are kind of rough. So I kind of want to make sure that they get like some roughness detail in there.
Bones also tend to have like striations in them too.
Striations?
Yeah, like
pseudofibers almost.
Yeah. It's like bones have rough places, but they also have smooth places too, or else they would get caught on anything in our internalness.
True. So you're saying in the height map here, I should probably scale some of this down.
Maybe.
Roughness here.
In bones that are exposed to the elements get super rough pretty quickly.
That is true.
Yeah, because they're porous, so they just turn to sandpaper.
Okay, we know way too much about bones.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you guys are already material experts. So, like, what do you need me for?
Visualizing it.
Well, I mean, like, it really comes down to the level of detail and the style of the character you're making. If you don't need the fibers of the bones, if you're doing a more simple, stylized art style.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, if you did want to add that stuff, you could go into the height map here, make another height map, and tile like fibers or something. So there's probably like a fibers map. So like if you type in like fibers or
I have put a reference in bone in the chat if you need it.
oh god, what am I about to look at?
It's
Privacy
just a bone.
investigation.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. So let's actually use like there's like one like wood grain or something, but we don't want it to be like wood grain. We want it to be like let's just use, is there like a lines or something? Hold on, I want to look for like a straight line fibers. Straight line fibers. We could try this one. I set the UV to triplanar. And then so in your height settings here, you want to make sure that this is set to linear dodge add. And then add a levels to it. set the height all the way down. And then, yeah, you want it to be like pretty. Pretty low. And then, yeah, change the scale. So the scale is like up as far as it can go now. I'm not personally a fan of that, actually. I don't know. I think it could work, but I might need to try a different material. Honestly, it's probably also my roughness here. So let's like turn that down a little bit there. Just kind of checking the lighting here. But now the next thing we want to do is like fill in our occlusion detail and get some like nice looking dirt in there. So you want to go into the textures map here and start to overlay your texture information. So make sure you grab like your boot AO or something, which I do not have any here. Wait, no, here we go. Full AO. So I like to do this. I like to plug in my base color, and then I also like to plug in my roughness channel and then turn those off. And so what that does, so if you change to your roughness layer stack here and then hit C to go to your roughness map, you'll just see your ambient occlusion map here. For some reason, it's giving me this error here. I'm not sure what's up with that. But now if I change my roughness layer stack setting here from normal to linear dodge add, and then invert it, so add a levels, and then go to roughness, and then hit invert, it will give me like a bunch of free roughness and dirt looking information. And then also, I want to change my layer stack to base color and change this to multiply, and then give this a filter so that it doesn't overlay just black and white information. You want it to overlay like nice browns and like nice chunky dirt or something. So probably don't want to frick with the white channel. And that is pretty strong, I understand. So we probably want to turn that down a little bit. And then what you can do, because this overlays the information based on your ambient occlusion map, we could probably add a black mask to this and then add a generator to it. And then in the generator, add a mask editor. And then in the mask editor settings, we're going to turn down curvature and turn down, we're going to plug in that same ambient occlusion map here. And then turn up the texture opacity. Set it to normal. Invert it. So now it's basically just the AO map inverted, overlaid. And I want to break this up with another texture. So I'm going to add another texture here. So I'm going to add like a dirt 4 or something. Wait, no. Let's grab like grunge dirt splats or something and then turn up the texture to opacity. And then if you set this to linear dodge / add, or rather like subtract, you know, you can get very different effects between the two. And set the opacity like down a little bit. That adds like even more variation kind of on top of what we got going on. Then let's kind of add a black mask here, or add a new layer and then add a black mask to this. And then I'm going to turn off everything except color information because I want to add a generator to this. Then in the generator setting, I'm going to add a world space generator. And this is going to use based on my world space channel information. It's going to add based on my world space channel. So it's right now it's using the green world space channel. I will kind of like looking at my reference over there. Like we're going to like tweak the global balance a little bit and maybe tweak the contrast so it's a little bit brighter. And we're going to set this to, again, instead of like white, we're probably going to add in like some kind of grunge. I don't know. What is this? Grunge map 04. Oh yeah, I really like that a lot actually. So then we'll like maybe scale that up a little bit. And then we're gonna set again. We're gonna add a filter to this, and set the filter to be a gradient. I'm just like color picking from this image over here. Can I change this to instead of being world space normal? I actually like using the mask editor quite a bit because I can just plug in so many different textures. So if I change the balance and the contrast here, because I like to overlay information like this, but I also like to break it up more with texture information. So like just grab like, I don't know, grunge leaks. No, not grunge leaks. I always grab grunge leaks. Let's grab like grunge dirt heavy, and then turn up the texture opacity and set it to scale, and then change the contrast and set it to subtractive. That adds like more information, like more. You guys know you know the Star Wars meme where he goes more.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know that Chris says it too. My concept art.
Really?
Yes.
That's so funny.
He wants more detail, more. I was like, okay.
And he says it like the guy from Star Wars.
Yes, he does.
Mark. I love that fucking clip.
Being taught by a bunch of broken people, my God.
What?
Being taught by broken people, what has life done to you?
Yeah. It's funny. It's funny.
When you speak in pop culture references.
All we do is speak in memes, yeah.
Oh, God.
I really like what's going on here. What else to add? We could probably add a little bit of curvature information. Add a black mask. More. That's so funny. That cracks me up, dude. That's gonna make me laugh all day.
Best Star Wars thing ever. I'm like,
That is the best thing to come out of those movies. Let's add not a filter, but add a
next Mandalorian. Just takes more.
What am I looking for?
There we go.
A generator. That's what I was looking for. Anyway, is this answering any questions? Am I doing a good job? I don't know. What do you guys think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, I'll probably be using that for a couple. Well, not quite exactly that, but that, and I'll probably be adapting it for the horns of a guy as well.
Yeah, mask editors are my favorite part of Substance Painter. If I'm 100% honest, like they are so cool. I do so much texturing with just these. And then you can like make these like dark or something. There you go. Bam. That's like easy, huh? That was easy. You guys remember that? The Staples thing?
That one. I know that reference.
Okay.
I know that reference too.
Wow.
Get these memes out of here.
You guys got to go on the internet more often.
It's the last day. So
It's not that I don't know the meme references. I'm just shocked by the sheer quantity of them present in my lecture.
Wow. I'm sorry. Please don't give me a bad grade because of that.
Not at all.
More
It's the last day of class, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really,
I'm not going
Tahoe?
to remember
You
this
changed your
interaction in a few
background?
hours anyway.
Yes.
What is Tahoe? Wait, I can't see it.
There's a background.
Nice.
Where's your videos? Where's my camera?
It has it right there for you.
I can't see it.
Really?
Where are you? Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, there you go. More.
Nice background, by the way.
No, this is what I did for Chris earlier too. We were just like,
Nice.
wow. So I left this out
Perfect,
for a
dude.
whole class.
That's a great one. I'm gonna start saying that more in my other classes, dude. Let's add a generator to this.
We have ruined the next few classes with him. Gonna happen.
Next semester, 2021. Good luck.
Yeah, there we go. That's like how I would start. Work on that.
Blood.
So yeah, this is what my base color looks like at the end. So there is a lot of detail going on. And then this is what my roughness map looks like. So you want to get some good variety in your roughness maps, guys. Like it matters a lot. Okay. So that is how I would do that. So what else did people have questions about? They had a question about the emissive maps. And then what was the other thing?
The ruby or something with gems and ruby.
Okay. Gems and rubies. Okay.
Control on that one.
Let's open up Toolbag 3. I am going to show off Marmoset 4 today, but I want to show you guys that you can achieve. How many people are using Toolbag 3? Am I like, should I keep showing off Toolbag 3 or?
I'm using Toolbag 3.
I mean,
don't
I
have
wouldn't
4.
mind some Toolbag 4 breakdowns, but
Okay.
I'm probably just using 3 because I know how to use it. I opened up 4 and I was like, oh God, everything's different.
Yeah. Well, I will show off 4, but I just wanted to.
Oh, he's in 4. Yeah,
Okay.
now because I was like,
A bunch of rich people over here,
yeah.
Yes.
Sporting Toolbag 4.
Yes, money, that is how it was acquired.
I see you a brick through window special.
I'm still using some like I'm just using the free pass right now. I just downloaded it last night. 4.
Where was our render scene that we did? Here we go. Wait, nope, that's not it.
Ooh.
Okay, open scene.
Oh, little Yoda, more eggs.
All right, we're not gonna. No Baby Yoda in here.
Guys, we found the line. We found the line that he will not cross.
Baby Grogu can get out.
What did he do to you? My God.
I don't know. I mean, he's not as funny to me. Like he's silly. He's dumb. I don't know. I don't get it. Like people. Where's my rendering demo that I
Mine's
did in
on
this
this
class?
mannequin where the baby Grogu hurt you.
Posing for demo. Where was the posing demo that we did? Oh, it was in module 14. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm stupid, dude. Oh, it's not in here. It's in my other folder. God damn it, dude. Module 14. Okay,
Don't worry, it's last day's class, so it's like error 1's there.
Okay, let's go with this guy for right now. Let's go to main camera. Okay. Okay, let's stop this local recording. Okay, let's talk about gems or something to that effect. So I really think gems are probably going to be a combination of, your texture maps inside of Substance Painter, but then like your texture maps inside of how you're going to set it up inside of Marmoset or Unreal or whatever other program you're going to use, because it's probably going to be done with a combination of like shading tricks than like actual roughness information. But at least that's how it is in my experience. So like I'm not super well versed at this stuff, so like I'm sure there's a tutorial out there that you can probably look up too on like how people have done this, but this is how I would approach it. So first off, I need to find where these textures are saved. Can I find this in my, how do I find this?
It's like a search.
Where is this texture being loaded from? I think it's being loaded from my like. All right, well, I'll just export them somewhere else and set it up. So like, okay, so hold on. Are these texture, can these layers update, please? And we'll also use this to talk about emissive. And emissive is, or we'll talk about emissive after this, but emissive is actually better in Marmoset 4. So that will be good. So let's I want to turn this boot here, this like belt buckle here into a gem. So gonna create a fill layer here. And I'm instantly create a layer on top, or a mat, or sorry, a folder, and then apply it to this mesh here. Okay, so let's say I want to turn this into like a gem looking thing. So I'm probably going to do a combination of like decreasing my roughness and increasing my metallic information a bit. And then you want to pick like a bright color, you know, kind of depending on like what. Something like this, maybe. It's going to be a combination of like low roughness because gems are usually cut to be pretty smooth, and a combination of your metallic map, which is going to inform your reflectance, because this looks like plastic, but then this starts to look like some type of gem or something. Now, there is a way inside of Substance Painter here to change your shading to enable like subsurface scattering. So if we go back to the regular shader, because I don't think subsurface scattering works with the alpha blending shader. If we go to like not V-Ray, let's just grab PBR Metal Rough. So this will update the material, but then in your subsurface scattering shader or abilities, you have the ability to enable or disable this. This should work. Oh, I think you have to enable the channel. So like, let's add a channel for, it's probably transmissive, I believe. Ooh, this is going to be tough to do, but I'm pretty sure that's like what this map would is, the transitive map, because there's not a way to. Oh, you could also add a specular map, but that will probably get more into faking that type of stuff inside of Unreal or Marmoset or Unreal or something. I don't quite remember how to set this up inside of Substance Painter. How do I get the lighting to like work how I want it to?
I know you can do it in Unreal Engine, but like kind of fake it, but it's a lot of process to make with the program.
Yeah, we'll probably touch on that a little bit today. So once you have like your basic values set up, let's export them and get them set up inside of Marmoset or something. So I'm going to just export just the suit textures here. Hello? Okay. Suit. And then go to global settings. Module 15. We'll call this like gem. This is the wrong folder, baby. Wow, it's the end of the semester. Can you guys believe it? This is time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
Or being hurt.
All
Fun.
I want
Or
is
sleep.
for everything to be over so that I can disappear into the world of Cyberpunk for weeks.
Isn't that game like super jank or something?
Nah, man, stop trying to run it on a 7-year-old console, you damn idiots.
Wow. Well, why are they selling it on a 7-year-old console?
So that's the problem, is they were not transparent at all. They should have released it on PC first, but then that's like a freaking marketing nightmare. I blame the shareholders.
PC. That's where everything would work really well.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
man. PC
apparently
only
it's-
release, make the console players wait a year like it's some fucking Red Dead Redemption BS.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah, but I mean, apparently it's super like buggy on the PC as well. I mean, sure it runs better, but there's like a hell of a lot of like.
The bugs are all, for the most part, just kind of like aesthetic, like kind of immersion breaking things. Like they remove the suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, they're Bethesda bugs.
Isn't
there's
there
small
one where
bugs.
the bodies kind of like phase through the floor, and if I have like a mission critical item, then it's
Oof.
I've seen some pretty
I
bad ones.
saw one where it was like a kill mission. It was actually like one of the last. It was like I think it was in the like final story mission, and some of the AI like glitched into the floor in this one specific area, and you couldn't kill them, and so you had to like restart until they didn't glitch into the floor.
Nice.
But for the most part, I'd say like 90% of the bugs that I've seen, because my sister's played it for about 100 hours right next to me.
Jesus.
And I'm very sad.
Okay. All right. Let's go through this part. So, I'm going to affect the shader of this thing, which is going to. This is not the best demo for this. I apologize, but hopefully it gets the idea across. This is going to affect the shader of the entire clothing. But what you probably want to do is instead of you want to use metalness, but you probably can also get away with changing it to specularity, and turning that off, and then setting this to like whatever color you like want it to be, your intensity there. So that will increase like the intensity there, and increasing the roughness. So let's like turn this guy like all the way down, right? Oh, actually, instead of using, so actually go back to metalness, because we do want it to be metal, I think. Or do we? Let's turn off metalness there. Is that what a gem looks like? Not really, huh? Let's go to GGX and turn on, where is it? Under secondary reflection, turn on GGX, and then you can increase the secondary gloss and the secondary intensity. Which is going to make it like give it like a secondary highlight. And I don't know what the horizon occlusion does, if I'm 100% honest. Set the reflection to GGX, or we can use blend Fong. I think we want to use GGX, yeah. And then the next thing you can do is go into your Lambertian settings and change this to subsurface scatter or something. And then you can crank up the scatter depth. Oh, this won't work with GGX. Damn it. Or will it? Consistency depth. Is this not working how I think it will? Let's do a new scene here. Let's go to File, Import Model. What is this guy? Okay. Shit, I'm trying to find a version of this guy where he doesn't have all of them. Oh, I probably do have a version of him somewhere. No. Let's go to File, New Scene. File, Open Scene. Let's just grab our low poly that we used to bake. Fall semester, game 340, module 12. Oh, we have to import it, not import. Fuck, okay. Game fall semester, game 340. Let's grab our low poly here, open. Let's add a light here. So scene, add object, light. Okay, add a shadow catcher. Let's make a new material here. A new Unreal 4 template, and then re-plug this into the albedo map. Okay, there we go. This is what we're looking for, sort of. We're gonna hit here, we're gonna hit flip Y. Then we're gonna set up the metalness and the roughness map. And then make sure it's set to the right channel, which is G, which is correct. Yes. but then make sure the metal is set to B. Okay, cool. So now you have something like this. So you could try to go into the transparency settings and set it to refraction, and that will add like some reflective metals, like reflectiveness to this. I don't know if refraction and subsurface scattering work together, but I definitely know that secondary reflection and subsurface scatter don't work together. So you could try to turn on some subsurface scattering to give it like some like thin, like to make it feel like a gem or something. Again, this is going to be dependent on your scale of your scene, which I don't know if as accurate here. So yeah, our dude is huge. Not a huge deal. I'm actually going to turn down the roughness map a little bit and kind of play with it a bit. Oh, wait, there we go. Yeah, see that? Oh, it's kind of hard to tell. Let's add like a light over here. Scene add object light. Oh, yeah. So if I had a more accurate scene. Fuck. Okay, hang on. Should I set that up really fast? Let's just go and do that. Sorry, everybody. Fall semester, game 340, module 10. Importer low. And so we actually need to scale him down quite a bit for some reason. Delete all these lights because this is going to affect our scale when we import our new object here. So file, import model, module 15. Okay, here's our boy. Render, show scale reference. So he's a little bit more accurate to what we want, which is great. Plug this in. So now you can see when I play with the scatter depth. Let's turn the roughness up so you can kind of see what's going on here. Or rather, turn it down. The scatter depth now affects kind of like how the reflections work through it. So you probably want to soften the reflections a little bit. Turn down the roughness. Let's turn that back up. There we go. So it gets a little bit of reflectance in there, a little bit see-through. So all the normal detail I have applied is probably not helping. I would probably, obviously, I didn't pick the best example for this, but yeah, setting up properly the index or refraction and stuff will help sell it further. Probably turn up the fuzz and probably mask fuzz with class. There we go. But yeah, does anybody have any questions about? Oh yeah, there you go. Yo, there you go. Pog. I turned down the metalness. Yo.
That's what.
And you have a gem.
Damn, I'm a genius.
It almost looks like candy a little bit if you think about it.
Candy, bubblegum, and taffy. There you go. Remember that song, guys? No? Okay.
He has a lollipop for a belt buckle?
Yeah. That actually looks better than I thought it would be. Okay, cool. So that was like, so again, it's going to be depending on how you set up your shader. And a lot of this stuff will not be supported in the Marmoset viewer because of just how the Marmoset viewer works. It might be supported in Sketchfab, which we'll probably talk about today too. Yeah. Okay, so I do want to talk about emissives, but do you guys want to take? Do you guys want to take a quick 5-minute break really fast?
Sure. Yeah,
Here, I'll
We can do
restart
that.
my Zoom.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So, um, let's stop the recording. Or sorry, I'll be right back. Everyone, come back in like 10 minutes or so, or not 10 minutes, 5 minutes, by 10 ish. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, is everyone back? Sorry about that.
We
So that
forgive you.
took a couple
Yeah.
seconds.
No problem.
Cool. So let's do emissive mapping. Okay. This is like kind of simple, but okay. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so emissive mapping is a little bit simpler to set up than the other stuff because basically it's just going to be a mask that's just going to be driving a lot of this information. So let's like delete this, or what is this map here? The opacity map. Okay, let's delete that. So we don't have to change our shader or anything. This is actually supported out of the box inside of Substance Painter on our default shader. So if we go into the channel settings here, all we have to do is add an emissive map, and that adds an emissive channel. So now if I add a new paint layer on top of everything, probably I'm going to do it on the hair because that's where you want to use it in your example, Longji. But if I turn off everything except emissive, now I have an emissive map that I can now plug in, which will just basically brighten everything to be a specific value. That's what emissive does. It basically just like it emits it. I don't know how to describe it. It just emits your diffuse without taking into account a ton of the shading information around it. So you just probably want to add a mask to this and just kind of like paint it in, you know, what you're expecting. So if you want to get like really simple with it, what you could do is add a generator to this black mask and then use a mask editor and then change to your emissive channel, or let's hit M to see what's going on here. I'm going to turn on the curvature, but I'm going to use the position gradient instead. And then instead of using top to bottom, I'm going to use right to left. And then I want to look at my mask here to see what's going on. I'm going to use the balance and contrast settings to kind of control this. So it does something more like that. And then you're basically ready to export these textures. So I'm going to just press Control-Shift-D and export the cape group here. I'm only going to export the cape group because I want to show this off in Marmoset and Marmoset 4. So I'm just going to export these to the same thing. Just hit export here. So this is going to export your emissive map as a mask, I believe, inside of your, or hold on, let me make sure that this is set to Unreal Engine 4 packed and then re-hit export. Okay, yeah, because now it did export a separate emissive map. The other version did not. So if you set it to the correct version of Unreal Engine 4 packed, it should give you this emissive map, which is basically just a mask. It's not really anything too crazy. So let's talk about this between the differences between these two, because this probably doesn't, it won't actually like emit light, like probably how you think it might be inside of Marmoset here. So if I grab this Albedo map and plug this in and then plug in my, change the color here to that. Let's also adjust our lighting a little bit. There we go. And then use a gloss map here. So you would set up your maps like normal. Make sure that this is set to metalness, set to G, or sorry, B, and set this to G. Make sure it's set to roughness. And then plug in the normal map here. There you go. So it looks pretty flat right now. So you're going to go to the emissive drop down here and you're going to change it to emissive. And you're going to plug in that map that you just exported. And then there you go. It has a brighter color to it. And so if you need it to look less intense, you just kind of tweak it. You can also change the glow here to be a like different shade if you want to. So it can look like something like that instead. So you can get kind of intense with it. Now, the thing about this is that it doesn't actually, well, the glow affects everything, which we kind of don't want. So turn that off. So you might want to repaint this mask so it only affects maybe just the head or whatever. This color should only affect the color. There you go. Now, the thing about this is that I'm pretty sure this does not emit any sort of light.
In Marmoset, you have to turn on global illumination for it to emit light.
Oh, really?
Yep.
So if I turn on GI. Okay, cool. I did not know that. I just thought it didn't work. It does work out of the box better in Marmoset 4. So if we go into Marmoset 4 here, and we go to the cape group, and we turn on emissive, set it to emissive here, it should ideally work right out of the box. Or maybe we also have to turn on global illumination. I'm not sure. So that is probably the case. Which is ray tracing now. Yep, there we go. There we go. Yo, look at that. So that will actually, what's up?
It's gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I know you can see all the disgusting like fireflies that are going on around. So yeah, okay. So you'll need to turn on GI inside of Marmoset, which is like its own mixed bag because then you'll have to like manually adjust the GI to get the results that you want. But overall, kind of simple to set up.
Okay. Something to know early for next project, probably.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool to know.
I mean, the thing is it works slightly different in every engine. Marmoset is probably the most straightforward, but if you try to do this on Unreal, you might have to look up some tutorials and like understand how to do it. Yeah.
Oh god. Doing lava was actually harder.
Yeah.
There's a few switches to flip in Unreal.
Yeah, there's a lot of boxes that you can toggle in that one. Okay. So we got about an hour and a half-ish left. All right, so let's talk about Marmoset, and then I want to talk about Sketchfab. If we have time, we'll talk about Unreal, but that might be a stretch. Let's like minimize this. All right, let's, because I want to show off Marmoset 4 here. So let's split up the recordings. So 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. So 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so I want to show off Marmoset Toolbag 4 here because it is you guys you can't access Marmoset 3 anymore, as in you can't buy it anymore. So if you didn't already own it, it's like impossible to get. So I want to make sure I show off 4 as like, hey, like this is the one that most people are probably going to be using, and like it's probably going to be used in the new ArtStation challenge that's going to happen soon. So
yes,
we'll see. So this is Marmoset 4. It's the first version of it. Full disclosure, I did pay for this, and it is $200. So that is a little pricey in comparison to 3. It adds a bunch of features like texturing and smart material support. I personally don't use that. I'm just going to use the classic setup here because I figured that's what most people are going to use. At first, I thought people had a lot of problems with this, but in my opinion, I think this is a pretty solid follow-up just in terms of the rendering. I think the rendering on the materials and everything looks a lot better from the get-go. But let's go through and talk about this. So just to set up, so first, the first things first is that there's a lot less default materials that you can use. So I'm just using the standard materials that they give you when you import your model. And you have to kind of be careful when you go through this because you need to make sure that you set your, flip your Y channel here to match your normal map. And then when you plug in your base color, make sure that's set up. But when you go to plug in your occlusion and your roughness, the microsurface is set to gloss. So you want to make sure you change that to roughness and make sure it's set to the right channel. And then you want to set your reflectivity is set to specular. You want to make sure that that's set to metalness and then set that to B as well, so you have a more accurate kind of map here. And then make sure I change my color to white. Cool. You can do a lot of the same things that you normally would inside of Unreal. or sorry, inside the other version. So if you want to set up reflection and stuff, instead of reflection being under transparency, it's going to be under reflection. But no, where is it under? It's under transmission. You're going to set that to refraction, and then you're going to set that all the way. Where is it under? It's not scatter. It's under. Wait, it wasn't under reflection? Yeah. Oh, because then you need to control the gloss here to get a more accurate reading. There you go. So I just set it to refraction here, and that changes like how it technically works. So this should work a little bit more like glass. And then also the cool thing is, again, just like we said earlier, if you want to set up emission, it's pretty easy. You can change it to emissive and crank up the intensity. Oh, I don't have the eyeball set up, but that's fine. So you can still do a lot of the same things that you normally would in Marmoset. The thing that I've read online is that if you're going to just import your material, if you're going to import your scene from 3 into 4, that's generally not recommended, because just the way the lights and the shaders are set up is slightly different. So you're better off just kind of re-importing your meshes and resetting up your materials and resetting up your lights. So yeah, a lot of the same things are here. If you go to scene, add object, and you add a shadow catcher. The main thing I want to talk about again is lighting. So if I hit Control L to add a light here, the lighting is much better refined, in my opinion. The spotlights control is way nicer, and you can get a much better angle on everything. And you can really control like the sharpness and also the diameter of everything. So if I add, you want to give some of your lights shapes. I like to give my key light a little bit of shape there just to soften those shadows. The shadows look much nicer, in my opinion, out of the box as well. In the sky rendering tab, you can change. There's a lot more presets that you can use, and they're also all in the cloud for you to just download at any time that you want to use. So if I want to use like Museum Bridge River or something, I have to click on it to load it, and then just click and drag that in, and it will be loaded into my scene. So again, a lot of the stuff that you would do normally is here. Also, is my hand group set up properly? Because it's very wet. I guess that's how it looks in the. I guess it's just how it be. That's fine. So let's set up some extra lights here. So I'm going to set up my rims here, my rim lights. Hit Control L. And then let's go over here and let's add a scene, add object, light. Notice I just like to use spotlights. I really recommend that you guys just use spotlights because they're a lot nicer looking, in my opinion, and they give you more control than you would with, let's change with directional lights. I also like to make sure all my lights cast shadows. I don't know. I feel like a lot of students I have sometimes just have lights without casting shadows turned on. I personally don't understand that. For me, like, I don't know why you wouldn't want all your shadows to cast lights, in my opinion. All your lights to cast shadows, your shadows to cast lights. I mean, yeah. Anyway, so I've got all my stuff set up here. Looking good. I'm going to go to the sky dome, probably change this to blurred sky again, and probably crank up, not the brightness, but crank up the blur a little bit. And then maybe, I like to control the brightness of this so it's not like so bright. Man, this is looking really wet. Why is it looking so wet?
Sweaty man.
Why is it looking like that, bro? That's not what it's supposed to look like.
I had to play around with my metal a couple of times.
Ooh.
It's a lot. You have to do a lot of changes in terms of Substance to
I had the same issue when I explored textures into Marmoset from Substance as well.
Yeah,
well, that's a given because I did bring that up in class, but it wasn't looking like this the other night.
Too bad for confirmed for garbage.
Occlusion, roughness. Yeah, I mean, it's not supposed to be this
this high. I know.
This
Weird.
wet looking. Huh. I feel like I'm missing something, maybe? Maybe I need to make a new material. Let's make a new material. Let's try using one of these new materials, maybe. Hang on. Boot, occlusion, roughness.
Frame.
Oh, see, now it's set to roughness and metalness, and then hit this to G, and then hit this to G, and then hit this to B. Huh.
And the Y. You forgot to put the Y frame.
I know, I haven't set up my normals yet. Yeah. Flip Y. Huh. Why is it so wet? Is that what it looked like in my other render?
No.
That I posted on Twitter? See, it's supposed to look like this.
Like more rough, yeah, more rough it out.
So something's going on with my roughness map. Let me open my other scene. And then see, here it looks fine. This is what it's supposed to look like. Maybe my Skydome was like messing me up or something previously. Oh wait, hold on. Let's go to presets here. What was that sky I was using? It was like
It was like a black. Like, oh, there it is. Bottom probably.
it was like Museum Bridge River. That's what it was. That's not it. I don't know I mean, this is what it's supposed to look like. So I can't set it up properly. I don't know what I did differently. That's set to metalness. Huh. So I mean, okay. I don't know what I did, but it's set up properly now. Oh, actually, and this one you can see here, I have the eyeball set up to use emissive, so it's actually like emitting a little bit of light here. So you're probably like, why does it do this ugly thing every single time you rotate? That's because ray tracing is turned on, and also local reflections are turned on. So basically, ray tracing is the new feature in the renders tab that's replacing global illumination. And basically, it works like Arnold or some other renderer that you might use now, where that if you stand still and let the camera render for like, if you let it render for like 10 minutes, all the shadows and the lighting will become much more accurate and less like firefly-y looking. So that's just something to keep in mind. If you use this, why does this look so much better? What was going on in my other scene? I don't get it. I'm so stressed out about it now. That's upsetting me. But anyway, so I mean, really, it's just like the same thing. You just set up your camera. The lighting system is different, so you will need to let your renders like render. You can also, again, turn on ambient occlusion and turn on local reflections and stuff, and everything will look a lot more accurate, in my opinion. The newest thing here is if you change your camera to your shot cam here, you can go down here to render image, and it will straight up like do what it would in like Arnold or like Maya or something. It will straight up render an image.
Is there a way to get more cameras around, or just one camera in the new set? Or
yeah, just make a new camera. Just go to scene, new camera.
Okay, multiple, like making multiple cameras around.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like very similar in a lot of ways.
Okay.
So that rendered. Let's take a look at what it rendered here. Where did it render? Classic. Open image location.
Oh, that's where it is. Okay.
This is not it, but is this meant to be it? Maybe. I don't know why it's getting cut off. That's like really awkward. So if that's not working for you, you can just do render, or sorry, go to classic, go to render and hit viewport render. It'll take a render of your viewport. I don't know what this render image does. I don't know why it's like getting cut off like that, but that's kind of awkward. But does anybody have any questions so far while this is going through? There you go. Hey, look at that. I think it's because I have override existing turned on. Let's turn that on and go to render viewport. It's very similar to Marmoset otherwise.
Okay, like Arnold and everything.
Yeah. So I think that I want to know what was up with my textures. I don't know why they look so bad. Like that was really upsetting me. Maybe I was missing something, or maybe I had the wrong maps plugged in somewhere, but it shouldn't have looked that bad. Here we go. Here's the viewport of render if you guys want to take a look at it. But I think it's pretty sick looking. I recommend that if you can't afford it, maybe if you haven't bought it already, I would say maybe wait to see what the ArtStation challenges are going to say. Just because I don't think anything bad is going to happen, but I don't know what the ArtStation challenges are going to say qualifies as like real time. Because like if you hit render and it doesn't render, is it real time? Like, it takes like 10 seconds to render. Is that real time? I don't know. In my opinion, it is. So
ray tracing does a lot of stuff for your character too. Yeah.
What do you mean?
No, I was trying to find where ray tracing is. I'm looking on. Okay, there it is.
Yeah, it just means path trace global illumination, which just means better, more accurate lighting and shadows, basically.
Okay, I was looking for it in number 4 right now. It's like,
oh yeah, it's under the render gear tab in your scene view here. If you want to change the settings in your viewport settings, this is where you go over. You got to click on this gear icon in your viewport to do things like show scale reference and turn up your wireframe and
okay, that's
it like that.
Wait, does it show wireframe? Really?
Yeah, it's like right here.
Oh shit!
So you need to click on this button and click wireframe. Okay, anybody else? I'm going to make a new material and I'm going to see what's up with my boots and see if these are still effed up. But does anybody else have any questions or anything about this?
Pretty straightforward.
I would recommend you check it out. Okay, I'm going to grab the base color here. Then I'm going to grab the normal map. Then I'm going to plug in the occlusion and the roughness. And then wait, what? Huh. It did not look like this a second ago. Maybe I'm using the wrong textures. I think these are the wrong textures. Boot group. Hang on, sorry guys. I'm just going insane right now. Was this the one? Where did that I just made? Is this the new one that I just made? The new default material? Yeah. Hey, there we go. I had the wrong texture set plugged in. Okay, that's what was going on.
Okay, double check where we have.
Yeah, double check to make sure your materials are plugged in properly. Because I actually have like 3 sets of textures in this gigantic ugly folder in here. So don't be like me, be organized. There will be some discrepancies for sure between Substance Painter and Marmoset. It shouldn't be like too big of a jump, but you will probably most likely have to adjust a little bit in Substance to make it look good. And that's the case really no matter where you plug it in. Like if you plug it into Unreal or you plug it into somewhere else, like Unreal is very hyperactive about how strong the metals are and the reflectance maps are. So like that is definitely where you'll need to adjust it a bit too.
I hate it sometimes. You have to fix it every time. That's the problem of Unreal.
Okay, it's 11:38. All right, let's whip through this next part, and then we can answer any other questions.
Sketchfab, yeah.
Yeah, I want to show that off.
There, use Sketchfab.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so next thing I'm going to show off is Sketchfab. I've already uploaded this model to Sketchfab for another demo for another class. And actually, this has been not to toot my own horn, but it was picked as a staff pick this morning, so pretty hyped about that. But yeah, so basically Sketchfab. So if you kind of notice, if you wiggle his eye around. That's due to the refraction, but I just think that's funny. Basically, Sketchfab is like a Marmoset viewer, but it's on Sketchfab. In my opinion, I think it looks a lot nicer sometimes than the Toolbag scene viewer. So I would say this is also a totally valid way that you could show off real-time models because it has a lot more support for like stuff like subsurface scattering and GGX rendering and stuff. Like, in my opinion, it looks a lot better. So how do you set it up? So you want to obviously create an account, and then you're going to go to hit upload here, and you're going to load in your file. So let's go load in our file.
Is this free for Sketchfab or just?
So I'm not paying for I'm not paying for this, and it looks like they gave me 1 upload credit per month. So you don't get a ton of credits. If you do want to use more than that, it looks like you might have to pay. I'm pretty sure as soon as I upload this, it's going to be like, hey, you already uploaded enough for this month. Pay up. But let's see what happens. So yeah, it's like, hey, jerkwad, if you want to upload this, you gotta upgrade your account. So what do you think upgrading my account costs? What? 79. Oh wait, no, that's for companies. What about individuals?
Okay, there we go.
All right, $7 per month beard. Oh, it's $11 per month, or it's $7 per month if you pay for the year. So that's what, like $70-$80 ish or something. Hold on, let's
There's
do
still
that.
an upload cap though.
That is kind of like crazy. Yeah,
right?
that's kind of crazy. I personally would not pay for this, and I don't produce enough art to upload more than 1 thing per month. So, but let's go through and do this really fast. Because I already have my other version. It's processing the file right now, so it might take a second. Just give it a sec. Gotta let it do its thing.
And you're just using a plain model right now, yeah? With no textures or just with
Yeah,
textures?
this has no textures applied. This is the same model that we were just looking at inside of Marmoset. All right, gotta wait for it to finish uploading. Sorry, everybody.
Sephiroth. Gameplay.
I don't know why this is taking so long.
It's like Cyberpunk.
I was gonna say you're also using Zoom, so it makes sense that it might take forever.
Yeah.
Internet's be real.
True.
How are my cookies doing?
I got excited for you were baking cookies. I'm like, sweet.
I thought I was missing out on freshly baked cookies.
Yeah.
One
This
of the
is
true luxuries
no.
of life. Not whatever this is.
What? This is Cookie Clicker. You guys want to play Cookie Clicker?
No.
No.
I've heard of it jokingly referred to before.
Man, you guys got to go on the internet sometime.
I go over and I get yelled at by people and I get sad.
I know.
I So
All I do is free melee. That's all.
All right, hold on. I'll wait for that load. Okay, I don't know why this is taking so long. Come on. There was like wind outside my window or something right now. That scared me. All right, I'm just gonna go back. Let's go to edit 3D settings here. I'll just edit the 3D settings on this guy to show you guys what's going on here. So I'm not gonna save any of these settings, but in general, it kind of works exactly like how it would inside of like Marmoset or something. You might have to wait for some things to load properly. But you have a lot of options in terms of what you can do. So the first things first is that you're going to have to upload as many materials as you need per unique object that you want. What does that mean? So like, for example, this chest material here, it encompasses a lot of different materials, but if I want to give his visor a unique, if I want to make it look reflective, but I don't want everything else in that same texture sheet to look reflective, that needs to be a separate material. Same with his eyeball. So those two are two separate materials. So again, at this point, it doesn't really matter how many materials you're plugging in. You just use as many as you need to get the effects that you want. So then what you want to do is you want to, you're going to go to the materials button over here, and you're going to click through all your different materials. So you have my boot group, cape, chest, eyeball, visor. Set up your workflows, and then you're going to click here to manage your textures, and this is where you'll import all of your textures that you created. So when you go into Substance Painter, it does not support the packed version of the maps that we've been exporting. So you just need to export PBR Metal Rough, which is
So all okay, we have to plug in all of those things.
Yeah, so you'll have to plug them in. It is time consuming for sure, but it looks good once you do it. So yeah, I exported like however many textures for this character. That's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 4. That's 24 maps. So, and then yeah, you import them all here and you play with them. You plug them in. I mean, you shouldn't have to adjust too many of these details in here. So, like you shouldn't, like if you mess with the specular F0 here, I don't think that affects anything really here because we're using Metal Rough and not Specularity. But ideally, you should get pretty similar to results to like what you would get in other programs, in my opinion. The lighting is not as advanced in terms of like other lighting setups. So let's talk about lighting. So once setting up the materials is easy. And if you want to turn on anything else that you want to turn on, like subsurface scattering, you can totally do that here. Or emissive. So like if I go to my eyeball here, I have emissive turned on and it's pretty bright. So do that. And then if I go to my visor group here, you can go to the, I have the opacity turned on, but it's set to refraction so that it goes through and it sets up all the different types of refractions that I got going on here. So if I turned up the refraction, it'll like invert itself. So I want to set that to like 0.1 or something. So kind of straightforward, just plugging in all the different textures that you want to use. The next thing is the lighting. So the thing about the lighting here is that it's pretty simplified. You only get 3 lights to work with. So you probably want to start with a preset or something. I think I started with like 3-point directional lighting. Now, when you start with something like 3-point directional lighting, all the lights are going to be kind of different, and they're all going to be directional lights, which I personally hate. So I'm going to click on these and change them all to spotlights. Don't ask me why I live this way. I don't know. What do your other lighting instructors tell you guys?
Directional lights are what I've used in the past.
Point lights, directional. I use a lot of light depending on the environment you use it.
I think James is all about point lights.
Point lights are fine, yeah. I'm not a huge point light lover, but that's fine. I mean, they're better than directional lights in my opinion. I hate directional lights, how they look sometimes. They work great for like big environments, but if you're trying to like light a character or light an object, spotlights are the way to go, baby. So increase the intensity here. So yeah, this is it's a little jank, this interface, but it's an online web browser. What can you expect? And they all cast shadows, hopefully. I want them all to cast shadows. Yeah. Cast shadows. I love it when they cast shadows, baby. I love casting shadows. Just like it looks so much better when it casts shadows, dude. Like, why would you not turn that on? Who are these people that are like, I don't want my lights to cast shadows? They probably changed their shadow color to be like blue or something and not black. It's like they're cheating. That's what I had a 3D instructor tell me once. He was like, you never want to change your shadow color because that's not how light works in real life. And that's, I don't know if that's true. Like, you never want to change your shadow color, but it's something I've lived by my entire life and it's never steered me wrong. So,
Isn't shadow color dictated by the color of the sky in a lot of ways?
Well, it's dictated by whatever the light color is, right? It's the opposite color on the wheel.
Yep. That's how the color theory told me.
yeah, but that it doesn't always work like that. But in CG, if you go in Maya, you can literally change the shadow of the color to be
Yeah, no.
color. Yeah,
It's cartoonish at that point.
yeah.
Pink shadows.
Pink shadows. Is that what you
Yes.
said?
Yes.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm sure.
Very, very kid-friendly game.
Like, I'm sure, yeah, it would work in like some projects or whatever. Okay, and then so once you've got up your lights and material setup, this is where you can start to turn on all the other nice stuff in your scene. And so luckily they don't lock you out of any features that you normally wouldn't have if you were like weren't paying for it or something. So you can turn on screen space reflection. You can turn on SSAO, which is screen space ambient occlusion, which I recommend you probably turn on. I like to turn on sharpness. If you do want the game to look like Cyberpunk, you can turn on chromatic aberration. Vignetting.
It's bizarre looking.
Yeah, this is like a hot thing that a lot of video games do. I don't really like it personally, but
Don't understand all the like camera effects that games turn on by default.
yeah, I mean, I get they want it to feel like that you're looking through a camera, but like I turn off motion blur in video games all the time.
Because I'm not looking through a camera.
Yeah, I turn off
I want to
motion
be in
blur,
the world.
and I hate chromatic aberration.
Yeah. If I
I
wanted
forgot-
film grain, I'd go watch a World War II like found footage film.
Yeah. Also, you want to turn on tone mapping to be filmic or something. Oh yeah, there we go, baby. Yeah, dude. Oh, I forgot to set that up in my other scene, but yeah, set up your tone mapping. You can also turn on bloom a little bit here. So turn the threshold like all the way down. The bloom is pretty nice looking in my opinion. So like if you want to use it, that's like fine. Oh, I forgot to bring this up in the Marmoset viewer, but the bloom in Marmoset 4 is way better than the bloom in Marmoset 3. And then anti-aliasing, I mean, you probably want to turn that on. I mean, it's pretty decent. Then you can plug in animations here too if you have animations, but I don't. And you can double turn on annotations and stuff. So that's like pretty basic. I'm not going to save these settings because I like how they look right now. In fact, I'm actually going to go in and I'm going to edit these again because I want to turn on filmic quality. I don't know why that wasn't turned on. But cool. Does anybody have any questions about this or anything like that?
Definitely gonna test Sketchfab until break. Testing this.
Yeah, it's gotten a lot better in my opinion. Like when I first used it, it was pretty basic. It's actually been around since I was in school, I think, since like 2013. So they've been around for a while. Oh shit, hold on. I gotta go back and hit edit 3D settings again. You want to go to the background. Where's the background setting? Lighting. Oh, you can also change your environment here as well. Set as background. No, I don't. I mean, it's like kind of like. I don't really like that. Where's the background settings? Background. Here you go. So yeah, I'm just gonna use the default kind of like settings here. And you can also turn on your wireframe and manage all that jazz, etc. Cool. Does anybody have any questions or anything? Oh, you can do ambient environment? Ooh, okay. Nobody has any questions?
No, that's pretty cool. I didn't know about Sketchup at all. I mean, you've mentioned it a few times, but it's pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd heard about it, but I was lucky enough to be able to get Marmoset, so I've never really played around with Sketchfab.
Is Sketchup the one with all the weird, like showing wireframe and everything else in this one or two?
Yeah, this is the one that you can go in here and you can click on base color and metalness and roughness and stuff, and you can see everyone's roughness maps and information and stuff. So it's really useful for, like as a research tool to kind of see what other people are doing or how they're making stuff. You can also see like how much post-processing adds on top of everything. So it's the final render, no post-processing. A lot of people do crazy stuff with it for sure. Normally, as far as I've seen it, a lot of people end up using it to do like really crazy stuff with 3D, like with 3D, 2D work, because you can invert your normals and get really cool effects. But yeah, and you can also like limit how the camera rotates and stuff. There's a lot of control. I didn't really control all that stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah. Any other questions about it? I didn't want to I hope I didn't come off as like misleading you guys about Marmoset, because I know Marmoset is expensive. It's just that I didn't I don't know. I just wanted to make sure I provided alternatives. In my opinion, I think Marmoset is the better version because you get really high quality screenshots. Nobody can steal your model. You can just control it, all that jazz. Yeah. All right. Anyway. Cool. All right. So let's stop the local recording on that. All right, so we got about an hour left. So really, we have about a half hour left because I want to use the last half hour to go over my slides and answer questions. So here's the thing: I can show you guys Unreal, or I can answer more questions. Does anybody else have any other questions about their bakes or anything else that they've submitted so far?
Not a specific question, but a stylistic question, if you'd be willing to try and answer one of those.
Okay.
So I'm working with that kind of the cloth thing on the guy's back. I just call this blanket. But it's a relatively flat shape. There's some undulation there, but I'm finding it looking very flat. It doesn't have a lot of interesting elements to it. I'm wondering if you have any suggestions to kind of make that pop a little bit better.
I've run into that situation before. Honestly, what I would do is just go back in ZBrush and do a quick few folds on top, and just fake it. Okay. I can show you an example of that if you're curious.
I'm always curious.
Okay, let's stop. I'm gonna pause the recording, everybody. Okay. Everyone needs to be cool.
Oh dang.
I feel like you're incriminating yourself by telling us that you're gonna do it while it's still recording, but I'll let you figure
out.
But
they don't know what it is, so
we're just doing it to torture them.
But you guys just need to be cool, okay? And you guys are all cool, right?
Yeah, I've been told that I'm cool by my parents.
I don't know if cool is right, but close enough.
Wait for Final Fantasy to come out.
Man, I remember when they said hey guys, February is when we're going to talk more about Final Fantasy. And I was like, man, that's so far away. It's not. It's a month away.
Yeah. It's going to be around the bend in no time
Maybe a little
flat.
bit longer. We have to wait a little bit longer on what happens every time. Yeah. That. But we're happy that we have Sephiroth and Smash.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Gonna smack people with a long sword every week. Got Midgard.
I know the Northern Cave stage I'm actually really excited about. So here's an example. So I made these statues. And he didn't have any folds on his back, so I just faked some folds. I just like was like, I need some detail back here, so I just kind of like faked some detail back there. So like, if that makes any sense, I would just add some points of tension and like try to sculpt in like relatively some information here with like the like just Damien standard or something.
Okay.
Um,
So if I've got already a retopoed service, can I just basically put it back into ZBrush and project and then see if I get something that works?
you could do that, or I mean, ideally the detail that you add would not be that crazy. And then I don't know how to just, you know what I'm saying? Like it shouldn't be enough that it like affects the silhouette.
I see.
But if it does, you can. What I would do is I would just import the new decimated model into Maya, and then go into Quadra and just kind of jiggle the low poly a little bit to match it, rather than like projecting it.
Okay.
Inside of ZBrush, because I feel like if you project it in ZBrush, you might fuck some stuff up.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So that's usually what I end up doing in a lot of cases. I bring the decimated model into Maya, and then I like just jiggle it a little bit so that it kind of matches up. And then ideally you should just be able to re-export your high poly and then re-export your low poly. And inside of Marmoset, both will just update automatically. Or in Substance Painter, you can just re-import your new low poly and then rebake with your new high poly, and it should just be fine. So that's what I would do personally. If you feel like it's just looking too flat.
Yeah, it needs a little bit of something. Follow-up question to that. I'm having a thing where if I'm applying materials to some of my some parts of my model that have built-in normal maps, it overrides the baked normals.
Overrides the baked normals.
Also, all that horrible baking that I did, all that.
Okay, the cloud recording is resuming. It overrides your normals.
Or it washes that out, or it's because even when I turn the normals off, the information doesn't seem to be showing up, and then when I turn the texture off completely, it shows up again.
You're using the smart like materials, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, first of all, you shouldn't be using smart materials.
Okay,
but
I could not use them.
Did you take a look at your normal map blending mode on the layer?
It's not replace, it's the other one, mix or not mix. Christ, let me just look at it.
So let's grab like something like this, right? So like what's like a material you be using in here?
It's so tiny, I need a bigger screen. I use one of the metal textures.
Okay. So let's grab something with noise, like wood ship hull or something.
Sure. Wood shoes, I can get behind that.
So yeah, so it's probably gonna be very strong. The first things first is I recommend that you go through and double check to make sure that the fill layers aren't affecting any of your normal maps or anything by default. And then you want to find the one channel that does have like your normal map turned on. So for this guy, it's probably like this base color here. And then, yeah, you want to go into the levels adjustment and change it to, if you haven't already done this, change this to height. And or probably just turn off the normal map and the height map. I can't even tell if that's like, oh, no, it is. Okay, it is affecting the normal. What layer is affecting it, though? So this is a fun part of Substance Painter where you go through and you try to find out what. So here's one layer that's being affected. So again, we probably want to like add a levels to this. Turn that down or just turn it off entirely. And then here we go. Here's some more height information. Okay, that one's not too bad. Okay, height, that's fine. Where are these like? Hold on, I gotta like figure this out. Oh, here we go. Okay, here's the dirt. Apparently it's overlaying dirt, which is like kind of a lot. There we go. Turn that off.
It looks like bone as well.
The edges are also adding. I'm going to turn the height off on that. So there we go. So now my normal map is like retained, quote unquote, but I would recommend that you just go through the layers and play with them a little bit more just to tweak the height information, or just get rid of it entirely and overlay your own noise that you like better. That's probably what I would recommend.
Yeah, I'll spoop around a little bit, see what works. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else got any questions?
One interesting question, like first, like if you want to do like something with comic line work, remember that comic line work I did for my environment for the spring show? I took it out earlier, but like, you want to put something around the object. Is that possible in Substance or and Sketchfab?
In Substance, I don't think it's possible in Substance. I mean, if we go to the shader settings, we can double check here. Am I locally recording? Oh shit, I'm not. Okay, my bad. I mean, it's on the cloud.
Or moment set, if that's possible. I don't know if that is.
Is there not like a stylized shader that they have in here? So I don't think there is. There's this effects clay shader that you could try. I think inside of Marmoset though, let's try Marmoset 3. Let's go to let's look up Marmoset 3.
Because I want to try that with this character layer. I want to see if it actually works with it.
Okay, so actually, if we just Google this, we can go to his 3D scene. So this is what he says that. Oh, so somebody's made a cell shader.
Yeah.
So this is a cell shaded. So you can go to here.
Oh, grab
it's
that.
$0. So yeah, grab this. Let's just download it and see what it looks like. So this guy Almighty Gur, I actually kind of know him like offhand. He's like a cool dude, I guess. So we go to here. We go to.
That's cool.
I want this. Sorry, bud. I'm just gonna press 0. Get view content. Download. So we actually have to go back and read this a little bit because I need to make sure that I'm installing the right version of the scene. Please use version 1.6. For versions of toolbags are 3.04 or better. Okay, so I do have 3.04. So let's go to show in folder. How do we install this?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think. Oh.
Read me. To install the shader, extract it to Marmoset Toolbag 3 Data Shader Custom. So we got to find the install. So let's go to this PC, C drive. Wow, my computer is getting slammed right now. Program files. So program files, Marmoset, Toolbag 3, Data, Shader, Matte, Custom. And then just copy and paste into here. Probably delete this README because that does not need to be in there. And then now let's reload Marmoset. File. Sure, grab this guy. So do you guys know what happens when you use a shader like this?
No.
Things change.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so sorry, I wasn't recording previously, but I just wanted to bring this up. So we downloaded this shader from this Marmoset. We were looking up cell shaded looks inside of Marmoset here. This guy made his own thing, so I'll also put this. Apparently works at Sledgehammer, which is local. That's crazy. I wonder if Keegan, my friend Keegan, knows him. but anyway, so then we downloaded a new shader from this guy here from GUR. So I just Googled Marmoset Unreal Shader, which took us to this post here. So what's happening if we open this up? How do we actually get it to work though? That's probably the question of the day, huh? Let's read the README. To use this shader in your extra drawer of your material, select custom and then choose cell shading.frag. Okay. So let's grab, let's hide some of these lights right now. And let's go to scene, add object. I'm going to use a cardinal sin that I hate. I'm going to set this to directional just because I just want to see what's going to happen here. Okay. Turn down the brightness a little bit, huh, Pat? There you go, bud. So if we go to the boots or something, and you go down to extra and set this to custom, and set the shader to custom cell shading.frag. This will take a second to load. Did this work? Oh yeah, you can kind of see it.
Oh shit!
Do you guys see it?
Yeah, now I see it.
Why is it all washed out though?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Is that based on the brightness of my light? Okay. Do I need to turn down my roughness or something? Oh yeah, there we go. So apparently it's tied to my roughness shader too. Okay, so this is a very specific look that it's going for, which is kind of unfortunate. Also, the metalness does not matter at all anymore. So if you're going to use this, you probably want to play with your diffuse lighting, your diffuse color to make it work. But that's kind of neat, huh? What do you guys think?
Something new.
Very tiny.
I mean, if you wanted to cell shade it, then there you go.
Yeah. That's kind of annoying that you have to tweak your roughness map a little bit to make it work. But yeah, so basically what cell-shaded shaders like this do is they basically take your mesh, duplicate it, and then inflate it by 2 or 3 pixels, and then invert the normals. So it's completely black. That's how most of these anime style shaders work. If you guys have played Guilty Gear or something like that, you guys know about that game?
Mm-hmm.
I personally feel like this is kind of hard to do unless you are freaking these guys, which are, what's their names? Arc System Works.
Yep.
But they basically created this whole system for lighting and shading their characters through very specific vertex color and vertex normal information. And so the thing about these characters is that they're hell of expensive to make, because they have to model them, and then the artist has to go in and hand author the normals on the face.
Dude.
And then also the artists also are the same artists that model the characters are also the same artists that rig and that rig the characters too. So it's an interesting talk for sure. Obviously they refine this quite a bit. If you looked at Dragon Ball Z Fighters, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because they did this weird thing.
They just added Baby, Super Baby 2. But yeah, this game looks incredible. And then the new one. You guys, we haven't. If we were in class, I would make you guys watch this every week for sure. But
I love it.
Notice though in this trailer though, all the environments don't have any of that nice cell shading. They're pretty nice hand authored background.
Borderland?
What's that?
Borderland.
About Borderland, yeah. It's the same technical.
Borderlands is the same thing, and that's also made in Unreal. And Unreal has a workflow for implementing this type of stuff. I think you can just search in the documentation, and then it has it doesn't have it's not an easy to set up, but there's a shader that somebody's made that you can import.
There's a YouTube video how to make shelf the shader right now because I did use it for my environment a couple of times. but not all of it.
Yeah, so I would make you guys watch this like every week. I think this looks a lot better than Borderlands in my opinion because it's like sick.
Damn.
But yeah, anime baby. So this game's going to be nuts when it finally comes out. But that's basically what they're doing. So they're basically rendering the character twice on some instances. So it's not like those lines on their faces are extra polygons or like extra parts of the mesh. It's literally the mesh just duplicated and then lit from a specific way to give that effect. In fact, if we go back to that talk,
Sounds resource intensive.
it is. I mean, it's kind of cheap, I think, in some ways because like it's just more polygons. I think.
Yeah. 5 years.
Because like they did it. I mean, I guess they didn't do it in Wind Waker. Wind Waker was just very flat Lambertian lighting. Like the lighting part is outlined. So yeah. So here you go. The character's outlined. The inverted hull, expanded mesh with front face culling, generated with the shader, traditional way and tweaks. So that's like basically what they did. So why did they not use a post effect? More motion, so more control through the vertex shader. So these guys like do so much hand authoring. It's like absurd. I think I see a lot of people on Twitter sometimes that are like, I want to try to do this. And then like, I don't think anybody has time to do that. And look, the inner lines on the character are like lines drawn on the surface of the polygon. So some of them are drawn on top of the mesh. So yeah, so basically the whole point is if you want to use this cell shaded shader, you probably will need to go back into Substance Painter and make this like a lot more authored because this doesn't really look like metal anymore. It just looks like white wafer or candy or something. Like I would like tweak this to be much darker, maybe bake in some lighting. Like remember when I showed you guys that with the hair, like maybe bake in some of that too. So yeah, I'm hyped for Guilty Gear. You guys hyped for Guilty Gear?
Or anime games.
No, just Guilty Gear, not other anime games. just Guilty Gear.
Not new Final Fantasy.
That's not anime. I mean, it's anime, but it's not like real anime.
I'm gonna try the new season of Rainbow Six Siege when I finally have time.
Oh yeah. I finished Yakuza 2 the other day. I didn't cry or anything, but it was like it was a lot. It was a lot. It did not go in places that I thought it would. Anyway, okay. Does anybody else have any questions about that or about what we've just been talking about?
That was good. That was a good tutorial because now I know how to do this. I'm gonna probably play with this all day.
Yeah.
Later on the break.
So yeah, I would like to see your guys' stuff with some strong lighting. I'm not going to call you out, Tahoe, but the lighting on your model is currently a little bit flat.
Oh yeah, no, that was just a test. I'm still testing. I didn't put any other lights in yet, so I'm just
okay.
I had to turn in some pictures. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna turn in this picture and I'll put the lights in.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. You guys, nobody else has any questions or anything? You guys have all messed with Unreal, right? I don't need to show you how to import into Unreal, do I?
I know how to put things in Unreal.
I'm good. I don't know if anyone else has questions about Unreal.
I'm good. Just don't want to face it yet.
I mean, I've tried lighting in Unreal before. It was a nightmare and went poorly, but.
So it's a lot of brute force.
Yeah, you have to. Let me see if I saved that scene that I set up in my other class.
Unreal likes to do its own thing sometimes. Like, oh, that's a bright light you got there. Let me just make it all black.
Let me split up the recording here. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna have time to do this whole thing. I'm gonna just kind of quickly load up. I keep clicking on library because I think that's going to take me to my engine, but it doesn't. It just takes me to my game library. So this is why I don't like using Unreal anymore, is because
so bad.
It's like you have to use their store, and the launcher for them is also a store, which is also. But I just want to use the engine, so it's kind of a nightmare.
Yeah, and then you have to get the standalone, but then you can't get like the plugins easily. It's just
really?
Well, you can just do a standalone version of Unreal, but you lose a lot of the ease of like the marketplace, and if you want to like import other stuff, and so
Mhm.
it's awful. Epic Game Store is a plague.
Oh, it's somebody asked about painting normal maps earlier, right?
I believe so.
I didn't answer that. Let's maybe okay, while this loads. So, okay. So let's talk about that. So painting normal maps, it's not really something I would recommend that you do, but I mean, if you want to, you probably want to make sure you open your original bake file. So I don't know where these original textures are stored for this character, but let's go into here, textures. So I don't know where I would even have an error on this character. Let's go to open, show and explore. Okay, I do not have this file loaded anywhere. That's great. Or I did a bake demo earlier, right? In 340 here. Module 10. Okay, yeah, bake demo. So boot AO or boot normal map. Where is that under, you think? So you probably want to go directly to your normal map, your baking source, and adjust it here if you want to, or not. I mean, the thing is, you don't really want to paint over your normal map because the normal map has it's not just color information, but it's mathematical. It's that's not a meme from Adventure Time or anything. It's it is math information that the 3D model will use. And so there's a lot of really subtle gradients that are being baked in here between these different channels. So by you painting over them, you're painting over 3 channels, which is affecting 3 different directions that you're potentially overwriting. So if you do have an error like this or something, and you do really want to bake it out and fix it, you could try to make a new layer, open this up, make a new layer, and try to clone stamp it. Or we need to duplicate this first. Get in here and clone stamp it. But very quickly, this can start to get out of the way. Now, I'm not going to act all high and mighty that I've never painted over a normal map before. I have done it, and I did do it recently this summer as kind of a last resort thing. The issue, why do you not want to paint over your normal maps? It's not just that I think that you should just make a good normal map, but it's also if you're in a production and you're baking a normal map, but then you have to paint over the normal map to fix a seam, and you just do it innocuously in your job. You hand that file off to somebody else, but then they realize there's an issue with it and they need to rebake it. Not only do they need to rebake it, then they will also need to paint over your normal map again to fix that particular issue. So it kind of adds an extra step in this production and makes it much harder for another person to potentially use later on down the road. So yes, for your personal projects, it's probably innocuous, but for your production projects and your other stuff, for bigger projects that you might work with people in, you want to make sure that your stuff is pretty clean and it's pretty easy to hand off with. Because then nobody really has to think about oh, he gave me his file, but then there's this one error seam in it, so I actually need to rebake it a million times or something. And I'm actually personally, I am worried about that with some of my models because some of my models are baked at a smaller scale than the imported versions of the characters. So that's going to be kind of a nightmare to deal with. But that's why you really kind of don't want to paint over your normal maps a little bit. But I mean, I like I said, sometimes it is unavoidable, and I have done it sometimes. I'm not happy about it, and I wish I could have fixed it, but that was just how it goes. Anybody else have any questions about that?
Thanks for answering my question.
Yeah. I mean, the main thing is once you're done, you would just save this as. I would recommend that you just save it as a new version, save this PSD, and then you can just re-import it into Substance. And yeah, honestly, it's not a big deal. I think there are people who are very elitist, myself included, obviously, about how you should never bake over your normal map, but like there are times where you have to do it, but like really you should just make good bakes in my opinion. So like if you feel like you're getting into an issue where the normal map isn't working how you want, you probably need to fix the low poly, you probably need to adjust the bake, you need to adjust your UVs. There's probably like 30 or 40 different, like not 30 or 40, but there's like 3 or 4 things that you can probably adjust in the low poly on its own that you before you would go in and fix up the normal map. Then normally what I would say for that is like you probably have to like adjust your high poly to maybe be a little bit more beveled because maybe the edges on your normal map are too sharp. And then also maybe you probably just need to add more geometry to your low poly or give your this probably fixes 95% of my issues is like give more geometry to the low poly, make the UV shells bigger or readjust them so they take up more space, or bake at a higher level, like bake at 4096 and then crunch down to 2048, right? Like those usually fix like a lot of the issues that I have in the beginning.
I ran into a weird thing earlier when I was baking out a mushroom, and when I baked it on its own, it was all janky. But when I baked it as part of like a whole bunch of stuff, it was fine. I still don't understand it.
I mean, that might be I can't say without seeing your low poly mesh, but you might have had multiple texture sheets or multiple texture sets unintentionally.
That could be.
There's like I just ran into that issue last night. Like there's lots of little things that you can get stuck on for sure with baking. Oh my god, what is going on here? Hello? Where's depth of field? Mobile depth of field. How do I turn off depth of field? Is it on my camera? Perspective camera. Anybody know? Global illumination, ray tracing, ambient occlusion, ambient cube map.
Yeah, no, that's a type of borked I haven't seen before.
Okay, well, if we said
it might be in post processing.
I'd be in post processing. I am in the post processing volume though. Okay, it's not on my regular camera actor here. So here's here's an example. I'm using the wrong materials again, and I apologize. I'm not using the right materials for this character. But if you don't know how to use Unreal, you got to download and install Unreal. That's going to take a second. And then you just make a new folder in your content browser. I recommend that if you do make a new project, import the starter content maybe to give yourself so you can download like their HDRs and stuff. Then just import your character like Gawain 2 or something. And then just dump this bad boy in. I can link you guys to the videos that I used to light my character. It was kind of simple. I mean, it's kind of similar approach that you would use inside of Marmoset. Basically, you just want to turn off everything that you don't want to use right away, like your surface sphere reflection, your skylight, and your sky sphere. Like you want to turn all this stuff off to start with. And just start with some basic lights, right? So if I just like, this is what I started with. So then you turn on your Spotlight 1 and then Spotlight 2. I'm also going to turn off atmospheric fog. So if I just turn off everything, this is what it looks like. So I'm going to turn on my Spotlight 1, Spotlight 2. These are just normal spotlights that I've created. I hate the user interface for this stuff because it kind of gives me, not PTSD, but it kind of reminds me of my old job and how much I hated it there. So, just setting all that stuff up. Again, kind of like a simple showcase. The cool thing about Unreal is that it's just drag and drop. So if you go into your post, if you go to wherever you have your character set up, and drop it into here, you can just import. You want to make sure that if you import this, you tell it to combine meshes. So it combines the character into one particular thing. Also, this character is very tiny, I just realized. So Probably again want to make sure it's set to scale properly before you import, because that will affect everything. And kind of like Sketchfab, any materials that you need, you're gonna want to make sure you apply inside of Maya before you import into here. And then so to set up a texture and a shader really fast, let's do this. So we have our hand group shader here. So Unreal uses a shader node setup like this, which is kind of annoying. We don't need this parameter though, so I'm just going to grab the chest material that I use. So I'm going to go to my texture tab here, so texturing, and go to hand. So I'm going to grab the right textures this time. Here they are. So this is why you want to you want to import them into your project first before you plug them into the materials. So import them. Now Unreal's really cool, and it will automatically update your normal map to work for you. And then you just drag them, drop them into here. Click and drag to move them around. And so it uses, it's kind of similar to the hypershade. So we're going to plug in our base color and then plug in your normal map. And then say, this is kind of similarly how we set up in Marmoset. So red is the ambient occlusion channel. Green is the roughness channel. So we're going to plug that right into roughness. And blue is the metalness channel. So we'll just plug that right in and hit apply. Oh. So it's going to look a little bit inaccurate. So then that's when you start to turn on your other materials, like your skysphere reflection, your skylights, and your skysphere. Maybe atmospheric fog if you want to add some background back there. My character is like fucked up a little bit because I imported him so tiny. But yeah, then you add a light source in there if you want to plug in the directional light source. I'm just going to delete this guy because he's like a ghost. But like, yeah, that's the general kind of like setup here. I don't know why my materials still look so bad. So this is what I was saying earlier. Like Unreal is definitely one where you're going to want to tweak it a little bit because it has its metalness is like, if Marmoset is like a 0 to 1, I feel like Unreal's metalness is like a 0 to 5. It's like, it's on like a different level, I feel like sometimes with how intense it could be. So sometimes a lot of stylized games don't even set it all the way to 1 because it's just too intense. Yeah, that's I mean, that's pretty much it. And then make sure you hit apply and hit save and all that jazz. So it saves everything. So that's like, this is the problem with it. Like, I wish I had more time to talk about this, but like Unreal is just like, it's not like Marmoset. Marmoset and Sketchfabs are just things that you use to just import a model. You set up some simple 3-point lighting and you're done. Unreal is a project where you make video games. So like, it's a huge package and it has like so many different things attached to it. And you can do amazing things in it, especially on your own. But like, it's just like, it's a lot sometimes. So like, that's why a lot of people tend to use Marmoset because it's a lot simpler. But Unreal does have support for RTX, or not RTX, but for ray tracing. RTX is just the branded word for it by NVIDIA, but ray tracing is the hot thing that's coming out soon. And it's also has support for really great skin shading. It has support for really great hair shading. So I feel like if you guys really want to do any sort of work that involves like high fidelity hair and like high fidelity faces and stuff, Unreal is where I would go for that personally. Also, Nanite is going to come out soon, which is the new Unreal 5 thing that's going to change the way modeling is probably going to work in the next few years. So, yeah. Anyway, does anybody have any questions about that?
Let's check. Do you know if Marmoset year 3 or 4 supports volumetric lighting?
Volumetric lighting. What do you mean?
Basically God rays.
Oh yeah, Marmoset. Okay.
For some reason, I think 3 doesn't do that. I know I've had to fake it a few times for stuff, but 4 doesn't.
Did I show you guys how to do fog?
I want to say no.
No, not in Marmoset.
Okay, so I don't know how this works in 4, but if you go to the render settings, you go to scene, add object. You can turn on You can add fog to the background. This is obviously very strong, but you can get some God Ray style effects
That looks legit.
with adding some fog here. I think I did add a little bit of this to my final renders of the project. But yeah. Obviously you can like very easily wash everything out, so you want to use it carefully, and it's not supported inside of the Marmoset viewer, I think. So you just need to be careful with it. But yeah, you can totally add some kind of God rays to this if you wish.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah. All right. I mean, that's it for most of what I had planned today. So I want to get into the final part, which is going to be the slides. So we have enough time. So let's do that. So I don't know how much work I'm going to be doing this weekend, but if you guys do have questions this weekend, feel free to hit me up. Like I said, I don't know how much grading I'm going to be doing. I might do some light comments tomorrow of like what I would expect you to do, what I might see you push or something like that, but it's not going to be anything.
Cool. I
I'm not
might actually text you on that too, probably to help me with some lighting layer.
Don't text me over Twitter. Please email me over. Please email me or something.
I'll email you.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Yeah, because if anything, I will probably take Saturday off. Maybe I'll do it on Sunday, or I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't know what my plan is.
Sunday I can give you that. Don't worry.
Yeah,
so I have to work on lighting a little bit.
Yeah. All right, let's get into this part. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So sorry, I don't mean to rush, but yeah, I just want to say, I know some of you guys aren't still done yet, but I just want to say thank you all for your hard work so far this semester. This was one of the cooler, better, not to post shade, but this was like one of the better semesters I've had in all my character classes. I think everyone worked really hard and did cool work. I think there was a lot that I just, I kind of end up dwelling a lot at the end of the semester on like what I could have done better and push more of. So I think just even from the conversations we had today, I already know what I want to push better and more of in the future. But I just want to say, yeah, thank you for your hard work so far this semester. It made it really fun. It made me want to do work outside of the class, and I was really motivated to try. I did think I spread myself a little bit too thin, so I'm sorry if that was like very apparent. But yeah, thanks. So give yourself a round of applause. Thank you, everybody. Woo!
Thank you too, Patrick.
Woo! Go, 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 go. Okay, half the class is dead.
More clapping.
More.
But yeah, thanks a lot, Patrick. You were awesome as well. Feedback
Yeah.
was really good.
Yeah, you give really amazing feedback.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for the feedback a lot. It really helped us.
Honestly, if you weren't mostly just teaching character classes, I'd love to take another class with you. But I think what I've learned this semester is I never want to make another character again in my life.
Yeah.
I'm going right back to environments.
I'm bummed there's no character 2 this next semester.
I did read that there's going to be no character 2. I don't know what's up with that or how they're running that. It might be a different class because I don't know if you guys noticed they did combine the 2 classes. Like this is 603 and 340.
They've been doing that lately.
Well, I'm a character modeler, and next semester is my last semester. So I was looking into character modeling. Well, I had to take character 1, and then I was going to take character 2 next semester. Well, they're not having it, so it's like, okay, now what do I take instead?
Yeah. So there was a class called 590 that ran this semester, and that was combined with hero props and modeling, which is basically character 2 for graduate students. So people I knew, some people I had previously in my character classes were taking that one. So I really don't know. Again, I'm not in charge of how any of the classes run or anything, so I apologize if you do want to take character 2 and it's not going to run. I don't know. To be honest, character 2 would be very similar to this class, but I would just have very higher expectations of you guys turning stuff in on time. So I don't want to put any like things out there that I think character 2 is an amazingly complexly different class. Like we do talk about some higher concepts, but it's basically this class, but just like I just expect more of you. Anyway,
some of the classes just experience. I mean, that's why we're taking all of these classes, is to experience, to have time to fail, to learn from our mistakes, to do better, to break the programs, to fix the program.
I agree, especially as character artists. If you guys want to continue to do character art is very competitive, and it takes a long time to be in a place where you feel competitive. It took me until I feel like I made my cowgirl character, which was like 5 years after I graduated, until I was like, I can make characters. But then like even then I got declined for art tests and I felt really bad. But then now I'm at a spot where I'm like doing 3D art on the side and I'm getting a lot of work, or I'm not getting a lot of work, but I'm getting enough work to really consider like what I want to do. But it takes a long time. The thing is, you just need to keep practicing. Some people do it faster than others.
That art, it's all about that art test still. Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go through the rest of this. So yeah, game 340. So if you guys have any questions about grades or the class, or you need help with anything specific, please, reach out to me at the same email address you've been emailing me to, which is patrickhillstead.aau@gmail.com. If you want copies of my lectures, please back them up now sooner rather than later. I'll most likely be cutting off access at like the end of the semester, or not at the end of the semester, but probably before spring semester starts. So you probably have all of January to download them. I don't know how you are going to, I don't know what happens with the class LMS after the end of the semester. I'm assuming you guys might lose access to it. So if that's the case, you can always access my lectures by going to bit.ly/Patrick Hillstead lectures. But the safest thing to do is, if you want any specific video or you want anything, is to just download them now, because I don't know what the school's policy is going to be about keeping them up. I don't know what the school's policy is going to be about the Zoom recordings. I'm going to try and probably download the Zoom recordings next week if I can, and keep them for my own personal use. So if you do need access to anything, just email me and I'll try to give you access to something, because you did pay for it, in my opinion. But if you do need another link, make sure you just download them and back them up. Don't forget to back up your work. I'm not going to keep any copies of it at all, except for like maybe your finals. So you guys can feel free to clean up your Google Drives at the end of the semester, because I really don't care about your Substance Painter files or anything like that. Like, don't give me your 10 gigabytes of Substance Painter files at the end of the semester. I just want your FBXs and your textures. Please practice good organization and naming conventions in the future. You guys were probably, if I'm going to be straight up, you guys were probably the worst about posting things to the right week, and it drove me insane. So in the future, please pay attention to what week you're posting things for. And also, practice good naming conventions. I don't think the naming conventions were that bad in this class. It's just that you guys were just kept posting the wrong week, and I was just like, oh my God. Otherwise, I hope this class met your expectations. Like I said, I feel like there was a lot of things that I definitely think about, all the things that I could do better. And what I want to do better. This class changed not a lot, but it did change quite a bit from the previous iterations of the class, in that we only focused on a torso and not a full character. Previously, this class was like a full character all the time for everybody. But normally but I decided for undergrads just have poor time management all around. So I just decided that you guys are only going to focus on an upper body. And I think it worked out more, because I think more people created like more polished high polys and stuff. So I'm glad to see that it kind of worked. They're accepting submissions for spring show right now. So like if you want to submit for spring show, you have until April to submit. So don't like freak out. Like take the time to really polish your stuff up, and before you submit it. Yeah, and just continue to make new stuff. The ArtStation Challenge is right around the corner. For the 3D portion, it starts in January, like January 4th. So I think the ArtStation Challenge is a great way for you to improve, and if not only to improve, but to continue to push yourself. Like whether that's like a prop or an environment or a character. What's important to me is that you guys you understand how to bake, and you understand how to like clearly present your work with good, clean, readable materials, because that's to me is like kind of like the most baseline thing you'll need to work at any job, whether that's at like Pixar or like Disney or Netflix or like CG Projekt Red or whatever, or like whatever else, or like my freelance company. Like clean materials helps like a lot. And if you're unhappy with your old stuff, just make new, better work, and then just continue to hide the projects. Like for me, when I was in Character 1, I showed you guys all my old characters, right? Like Banana Man was like on my graduating portfolio for like 3 months, and then I took him off. Like he was not anywhere. Like I took him off like pretty fast. Like there's lots of characters on my portfolio that after I got my first job, I just deleted because I felt like they weren't even like acceptable. I showed you guys all my old characters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
The banana guy.
Hey,
The barrel.
Oh yeah, and the barrel. So like, it takes a lot to practice. So okay, this is new that I'm going to be. This is something new that I'm going to be trying for this class, or not this class, but this semester. Is I'm doing surveys. So I know you guys already filled out a survey for the school, but the thing about those is that I do not see your text responses. I only see the numbers. So if you would like to share anonymously, this is all anonymous, and nobody's really going to see. Nobody's going to see it except me, and I do not collect your names, and I do not ask you to do to sign in with your emails or anything. If you want to leave me some comments and some thoughts about what you thought worked in this class and what did it, and what you would like to see improved, or anything else you want to tell me, please feel free to share. Here's a link, and I'll give you guys this link also when I send this email out to everybody at the end of the class. So please feel free to give me your thoughts about what you thought worked and what didn't work. It's completely anonymous. I only see the timestamp that was submitted, and there's no email required. So if you want to just write I suck, or you suck to me like a million times, like please feel free. So general contact, this is my website, hillsteadart.com. I'm also on ArtStation. I am on Twitter. Some people are already contacting me on Twitter. Let's not make that a huge habit, but
Sorry.
I'm not going to be super responsive to students on Twitter maybe after the semester ends, but feel free to add me on LinkedIn, follow me on Twitter, on Facebook. I don't really use Facebook anymore or whatever. Speaking of future classes, all I know is that spring semester will be online again. I have no idea what the signups are going to be like or what the availability is, because I'm part-time. And because I'm part-time, I do not get guaranteed classes. So I really don't know what I will be teaching next year or next spring, if I am going to be teaching at all, if they have enough people to sign up. I'm just going to say, because if I was a student right now, I would probably maybe wait for the vaccine and then go to class in person again when the vaccine hits. But that's just my personal opinion. I'm not going to say that's what everybody can do.
Yeah, some of us don't have that option.
Yeah, for sure. So, but yeah, just because it's the last class doesn't mean it has to be the last time we keep in touch. Whoops. Let me give you guys this. Copy. This is my Discord ID if you would like to add me on Discord and chat with me. I know a lot of people like want me to make, maybe some people want me to make a Discord for the class or something. I personally don't feel comfortable with that because I don't want to take the time to manage a Discord. But if you guys want to make Discords with each other, feel free. There's also a lot of great Discords out there that already exist, like the club and the Polycount Discord and other stuff. You know, there's lots of great resources out there that you have access to. There's also the school Discord that you can join too if you're not already a part of. I know it's not the most active, the game department one, but it's where you can meet other students, I guess. And that to me is the most important thing that you can have when you're developing your skills, is to have a group of people that you can talk to and share your stuff to and get honest opinions on. Okay. So yeah, onwards to 2021. So I wrote this at the end of last year when I had no idea what the cluster F that this year was going to be. But like I said, I'm cautiously optimistic about next year. I think it could be better. So just some thoughts and stuff that I've learned as I'm freelancing, as I've been freelancing and teaching at the same time. Practice good organization. If anything, get into a routine. It's kind of like unhealthy to like have a really sporadic schedule where you work from like 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. one night and then like 5 a.m. to like 8 p.m. the next night or something. Like there's just like, you want to have like a routine where your body can fall into, where you're like, all right, I get up by 10. You know, maybe you do get up at 10 and that's not I don't think that's the best personally, but I have been doing that recently. That's my thing. But then I don't start working until 2 and then I work from like 2 to 10 or whatever. You know, that's just me. But as long as you're in that routine and you're kind of working every day, your body will build that discipline to be motivated to work on stuff. Because like really, you can't really wait until you're like in the mood or like wait for motivation because it doesn't exist. Just keep practicing and that will lead to discipline, which leads to better work. There is the ArtStation Challenge. Like I said, it starts January 4th. That's the 3D portion. Really, again, the most important thing for me is that you make clean, presentable work. Ultimately, the software and the tools and the techniques of like how you achieve that doesn't really matter. You can use Blender, you can use ZWrap, you can use whatever tools that you want. You can use Ornatrix instead of XGen or whatever. But what matters is that it looks clean, it has appeal, it's presentable, and the lighting is really solid. Like you're not trying to obfuscate details, etc. And also just like keep practicing. I don't know what a lot of your guys' plans are for the industry, for what, you know, pipeline you want to go down, but like just continue to practice. Like even if it's a sketch, you don't technically have to finish everything you make, but as long as you like finish at least one thing, that's the most important thing. That thing could be this thing, you know, this class, or it could be your next character. That's why I think the ArtStation challenges are really important, because it like is a motivation in a way for you to finish. And there's a lot of people who look at those challenges, even if you don't like win. Like there's a lot of people who like, even if you're like a finalist and you like submit and you're like a survivor who actually submitted at the end, that can be a lot for like your kind of reputation and stuff. Yeah. I mean, otherwise, I just, like I said, you guys all seem like really strong artists. I believe in you all. Like, you all worked really hard this semester. I'm excited to see the things that you guys make in the future. I'm excited to follow you on ArtStation and then one day see your work on trending and be like, oh my God, they made that? What? You know, that's what I want to experience. I want you guys to become more powerful than me. All right. That's my goal. So yeah, that's it. Thanks everybody. Thank you again for all your hard work. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Thanks a lot, Pat.
Thank you for all of your hard work, Pat.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You have helped, I think, all of us through the feedback you've given us, the chance to ask questions. I think some instructors kind of forget that we might just saying. So
we might what?
Yeah, we might actually have questions every once in a while. We do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you definitely. I appreciate how you definitely went out of your way to make sure if we had questions, we got answered, and if we needed help with something, you definitely took time out of your own schedule to make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that feedback. For me, like, I knew that I wanted to do that because I felt like this was such a crappy time to do online learning. Like,
so bad.
I just knew that I was like, to me, like this, I'm not trying to make this like a drag the school or anything, but the school is expensive. And I was so like, I know art schools have like a reputation of sometimes of just being people that like, you know, they do their things, they take their money. And I didn't really want you to have that experience. Like I wanted you to feel like I was at least looking at your work every week and trying to leave feedbacks on what I thought could be better. And yeah, I mean, I definitely think if I was full time, I would take more time to do it. But I did, and I definitely spread myself thin across like 2 jobs. But that was a big motivation factor for me, was like for you guys to like, I knew that it was really bad and I wanted to potentially make it better with like keeping it every week. Also, just because the administration was like way more on top of us to be like, are you guys grading every week? Like, and it was kind of like weird because we had like I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but we had like a meeting like in the first like 4 weeks or something where like they pulled like all the freshman instructors in and they were like, are you guys grading every week? And every instructor was like, yes, we're grading every week. Like, what's going on? They're like trying to really make sure they retain people.
I mean, I had an instructor that didn't grade any of our stuff until week 13.
Really, this semester?
Not this semester, was last semester actually.
Wow.
I had one instructor that I didn't really know what my grade was until like the progress reports. So like week by week, I had no idea if he was grading them.
Oh wow.
So,
yeah. I mean, you've had me before. Some of you guys have had me before. That's how I used to grade, is that I would just wait until the progress reports, which is like, I get it. It's not the most efficient thing in the world.
That's like really common though. And I don't think there's, I mean, I have a very interesting view on grades. I'm like, I know how I'm doing with the class for myself, and I don't care too much about the letter at the end of the day. If I do well, I know that I did well. And so I normally don't check my grade until like after the semester ends. And I feel like with a lot of the game classes, it's more about what you learned as opposed to what your grade is.
Mm-hmm.
And so like there's definitely classes, like some of the early environment classes when I was still trying to get a hang of stuff, I probably got like a C or something in the class, but I learned so much and I was able to apply that after the semester ended.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I don't know, grades are, unless you're on grants, then it's when it's really important that you like maintain a certain GPA.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's all kind of relative.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I say this as someone with privilege too, because I only went to like a 2-year school and I had a bunch of student loans that were federal loans. So like, I understand like some people are on private loans and they need grants and stuff for sure. But yeah, for me, like, I think even besides all that, like, yeah, like I hope that you guys can take what you learn from this class, even if you feel like you didn't do a great job, and apply it to your future classes and your future work, because yeah, it's not the
end of the world yet.
It's not the end of the world, and also the grade is not. You always have time to improve. You always have time to be better, and it's not the end of the world if if you get a C. Like, I mean, C work will not get you a job, so you do want to work hard. So, by the time you're graduating, you should be shooting for like at least B+ A work, hopefully. So, because that's like closer to industry standard. If you're getting C's by the time you're graduating, that's good luck, because the work that you create is the more important thing than your grades. Is basically what I'm saying. Okay. yeah, I mean that's like really it. I just want to say really fast, if you don't forget, you guys, to submit your final submissions before or by the 21st. So I'll write right here. Let me go back to this. So ideally they should be due before noon on the 21st, or whenever before then. So let me edit that right now. But yeah, did you guys feel like this? I just want to ask, like, do you guys feel like the class was like fair, or was I not strict enough? Like, what do you guys think?
It's fair because it helps us with the other classes that are trying to pull us down downhill with the assignments.
I would definitely have a different opinion about it if it was on site, but everything's so screwy with the world
Oh yeah.
that I don't know. It's hard to judge compared to the on-site classes.
I agree.
Right class at the right time. Say that.
Do you feel like if you feel like it was on site, you would want me to be stricter?
I don't know. I know personally that I don't do well in online classes. And so like if it was on site, I'd have a lot more questions. I'd be a lot more participatory.
Yeah.
And so it's hard for me to compare it in my head to like a lot of the classes I've had, because it's just a completely different and terrible experience for me personally.
Online or virtual is like, it's really hard for me to keep focused on a class that is for 3 hours. For some odd reason, when I'm in person and face to face with the instructor and the people around me, I can concentrate a lot easier. So it makes it difficult, and thus, because it makes it difficult for the class itself, it makes it difficult for the entire class experience, including homework and all that stuff. So like you mentioned, it would be lovely if we could be, we're not taking classes virtual, we're going to skip the semester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to skip next semester so badly, but I don't want to graduate later.
Yeah.
I already pushed my graduation back because of COVID. I don't want to do it again.
Yeah.
I know that feeling too.
Yeah. I can't afford to wait. So
I can't emotionally afford to wait.
Yeah, I totally feel that. Okay. Well, I mean, I wish we were in class so I could like shake everyone's hand and say thank you, but like that's basically it.
I was going to say, even if we were in class, we wouldn't be able to shake each other's hands because
solid elbow nudge from across the room.
Air hug, that's all. Just
air handshake.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just want to say again, don't be afraid to email me if you have questions, maybe over the weekend. I'm gonna say you're free to go now, but I'll stick around here and I'll upload these videos. But yeah, thanks everybody. I hope you guys have a good winter break, and best of luck next semester, and best of luck in 2021. So thank you. Thanks guys.
Thank you so much.
Cheers. Have a good one.
Peace, everyone.
Have a good
break,
Have a
everyone.
good Christmas and break.
New Year's.
Merry Festivus.
Years. May the next year be way better than 2020.
Wait.
Like marginally less dumpster fire.
Yes.
Aim low, be surprised when it does well.
More sleep too.
Yeah.
This is my 5th day of staying up. I'm mostly barely
That's
awake.
impressive.
Go take a nap, Tahoe.
I don't know if that's impressive. I think that's like horrendous for your body. You are dying.
This is what I did
younger.
for my undergrad too. For my senior thesis, we had to build a whole game by ourselves. I'm like, ugh.
Yikes.
That was.
I have a friend that would probably come and kill my ass if she found out that I stayed up 5 days in a row.
I haven't done 5 before. I've done 3.
Don't do it.
Oh,
It's deadly.
I hit like the 48-hour mark, and my body will just like, nope.
Yeah.
I've done that a few times when I was in like on site.
Mm-hmm.
I had an hour and a half drive home, and I ended up having to pull over and sleep for 15-30 minutes because I fell asleep on the road.
Yeah, no, it gets really bad after a certain point. I remember one time I have an hour and a half commute, except I take like trains and buses. And I remember one time had been stayed up for like probably like 50 hours or more at that point. It was like well over 2 days. And I remember I was walking across the street and I legit like blanked out and completely forgot where I was and what I was doing halfway across the street. I was like,
Wow.
I need to go to sleep now.
I mean, after 5 days, like that's where you start to get delusions
Oh
and
yeah,
hallucinations.
Right now, right there, closely right there, but not
yeah,
yet.
yeah. Like
I got my
he's
Starbucks.
about to pass out and just like lay in the dandelion field. He doesn't
I got
even know it yet.
Ready with it. It's like energy drinks and Starbucks. Mostly my Starbucks. It helps.
So go to bed. That's what I think. That's like the gist of what this whole conversation's about. Go
If you can't
to
make
bed.
it to bed, just pass out on the floor next to your
Yeah.
desk. It'll be fine.
Like the thing is, guys, don't like if it's not 100% done by the time you submit it to me. I'm gonna understand. Like, just I want you guys to be rested. That's why like also I'm like very hands off with grading or not grading, but like timelines because I'm like, you know, people got to get their sleep, and I don't want you guys to like kill yourselves really. So take a nap today, and then you can do the last minute pushes tomorrow, and then submit on Monday, and then you can continue to work on it after Monday. You'll have all break, like you know. That's my point of view.
Yep. See everyone. Have a good.
So many projects I'm so excited to work on over break. None of them are characters.
Yeah. Bye, Tahoe.
See everyone. I'm gonna be working my spring show there.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, mine's the exact opposite. Mine's like I have so many projects that I'm looking forward to, and all of them are going to be characters.
Yeah, I want to do something not like a personal project for the spring show this year. Cause last couple of years I've just done like class projects that I've spruced up.
Oh, Patrick,
Yeah,
is there a limit?
same here.
Is there a limit on spring show? What to put up? Like how many characters we can put up?
It's normally 5.
I have no idea. I have literally no idea. I've never done anything related to that.
It's normally 5 submissions per category.
I was going to say you could probably ask the Discord if you wanted to.
Yeah. No, normally you don't get that many in, but in the last 2 years it's been 5 submissions per category. Could be less. So
That's per category?
yeah.
Wow, I can't even imagine doing that.
So you can submit.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
most
So
I've done
many.
is 2 before.
Five characters in a year, and you're in school.
Oh,
I don't know.
no.
Makes more sense for props.
Yeah, that would be fast.
Yeah.
I've done
5 environments.
I've just done environments before. I haven't submitted anything
Doing
else.
that many environments even would be that's a
I mean, it
Congrats.
depends on the scale of the environment. A lot of the environments are just little 10 by 10 rooms.
but even then that's a lot of work.
If it's done well, yeah.
Well, if it's good enough for spring show.
I don't know. Some of my spring social missions that got in were pretty bad. Sometimes they just need to fill the room. It's like my first spring show submission that got in was, I felt it was one of those things where it's like, oh my god, I got in, and then it was from environment 1, and it was next to all environment 2 artwork, and I was like, why the fuck did this make it?
Oh, God.
Why am I
And
here?
then you kind of feel horrible for even doing it.
Yeah, I'm just like, what, how did I end up in this place?
All right, I accidentally misnamed all these videos, so I'm just naming them really fast. Part 3.
It's the same thing though, like every year I go there and then they just like put it up next to some like grad student who spent a full year on like a thesis environment. I'm just like, oh, my little 15-week project doesn't feel like shit anymore.
Right.
Yeah, but spending a whole year on a thesis project, that's like kind of insane to me personally.
Yeah.
I'll say about that.
I would not personally do that at all.
I had to do a full game in my undergrad. So we had
What?
at Ringling College, and like we had to make a full game for our senior project.
Wow.
For GEC, and then E3 too for the tournament artwork. And that was terrible.
I
I
mean,
had to do and it was VR, so my project was mostly all VR stuff with optimizing everything as well.
I've had to do a few levels for a game for what is the class, that midpoint thing.
Oh yeah.
Oof.
8 weeks to
God,
do
that
it.
thing. That was a fun experience.
Hey
Technically,
man, we
we
almost
did.
learned to code.
We
It was a fucking nightmare.
my class, we ended up making a game that, I mean, technically it wasn't a few levels. It was like a full game because it was, well, PvP. So it changes with every time that you play it. But yeah, a full game. So we did it in 15 weeks.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. All right, everybody. I'm uploading the videos now.
Cool.
I got to go to my other meeting. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much for this semester.
Have a good break.
Yeah.
Play some Animal Crossing, people.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah,
I only have one more
say-
class after this, and then I'm home free. Oh, God.
So
Find
close.
that we all have Nintendo Switches.
Yeah.
Who has the account right now? We can all play against each other. Just
Have what?
Thanks, Daniel.
Cheers, folks.
see everyone.
Do you guys need, you guys want my friend code?
Oh, sure.
I think
Oh,
I
I
have
can
it
get
already.
it.
Code. I
Oh,
gave
you have it
that, but I
already?
don't remember.
Here, let me take a screenshot of it, and I can mail it to you guys on the Switch if you guys.
Yeah,
want
how's your gnome village going?
it. It's good now. They've taken over the upper cliff. It's pretty sick.
Nice. Are we missing any gnomes?
Am I missing? No, I have all the gnomes, I think. Okay, I'll take a screenshot of it and I'll give it to you guys later. Yeah, thanks everyone. I got to go jump in my other meeting.
All right.
Have a good break, everybody.
Bye.
Keep in touch.
Bye.
Bye. And okay. Yep, stop sharing. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
It's crazy. What the fuck is this? Let me just get out. Turn on symmetry. This whole shit. Now you little shit. So what's causing all the lag?